What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I see y'all coming in the building. Hit that like button. Put a big yes in the comment section if you can hear me just fine. I am on the road right now, and pretty much I'm in Alabama, so I got to watch my back. I got real ops out here, but I'm on the road. Uh, I'm on the road. Put a big yes if you can hear me. I want to make sure that we're good, all right? Put a big yes in the comment section if you can hear me. Hopefully the chat ain't moving too slow. Hmm. Yes, okay, cool. All right, man. I got some responses now. It's coming through. Listen, man, we're gonna talk about this free agency so far. I know we're not done, but so far I'm gonna give you my real honest take on what's been going on with the Dolphins. I'm gonna answer some of the questions that I've had in the last 24 hours about it, and we're gonna break it all down. Again, make sure you hit that like button on your way in the building. Um, this ain't gonna be no conversation about drama and all that other dumb stuff that's going on out there. We're gonna talk some real football, all right? Now listen, the Miami Dolphins, I gotta be honest with y'all, they done made a lot of really solid moves, man. To be quite honest with you, I really love the moves that we made. Um, I think that we definitely are showing that we are going to try our very best to establish the run. We brought fullbacks in, and quality fullbacks, by the way. I mean, honestly, it doesn't get more quality than what we got, just about. We brought in some really good talent at running back. I know our first signing we were happy about, but when they brought in Mostert, that was a huge pickup for, I believe it was a 1 year deal, less than $4 million annually. So that was a big pickup for us as well. So it's pretty clear they're trying to establish the run. Look like they're continuing to bring in a whole bunch of complimentary receivers. No number one type caliber, no number two type caliber. We're bringing in some possible number threes and number fours with upside. If they blossom, and they might become a number two one day. We don't know. But I like what we're doing now. I don't count re-signing Gesicki as a part of us making a free agent signing, even though it is. He doesn't count because we factor him in as a part of the same team last year. Same thing with Emmanuel Ogbah. I don't count him as a free agent signing. I just count him as a guy who got a contract extension. Okay, so I don't need to evaluate them as a signing because we really gauge free agency off of our production from last year, and they were a part of last year. So everybody they brought back from last year, I don't evaluate that as a part of free agency. I evaluate the additions and the holes that we left. Okay. Salute to Sloth with the donation saying it don't matter what we do. No way on earth we're beating the Chargers. LOL. We're gonna talk about that in a moment. I'm gonna get to that part in a moment. I'm gonna finish this piece real quick. But as Sloth said, we're not beating the Bills. My bad. We're gonna get to that, Sloth. I appreciate you, man. But here's the reality, okay? The Miami Dolphins are making a lot of smart, calculated moves. The thing that makes you nervous at this point, this run game that we're trying to establish, it leaves you with little faith that it will be successful if they cannot get tackles. Now, we may have a tackle on our roster, but we don't have two. Now, by position, we do, but we don't have two starting tackles right now. Okay? Not the type of caliber that we need to pull off this run game to alleviate some of the pressure off of our quarterback, which is necessary and would have been necessary for any quarterback. We have to secure a tackle, an impressive tackle. I didn't know this, but I found this out yesterday talking to EM. If we're trying to mirror what San Francisco did, which still didn't win a Super Bowl, but that's me just feeling like hopefully that we can be the ones that get it done. But if we're going to mirror what they did, then you're going to have to go get a $25 million tackle, just like San Francisco had. Because in this scheme that San Francisco run, they love to stretch the defense. They love going off of the tackles and around the edge, jet sweeps, bubble screens, where these guys can get out there, they can set the edge so that the defenders can't pursue. They got to run through traffic. You got to go get a real tackle. You got to go get a real tackle to pull on these edges. San Francisco had a $25 million tackle. You need the best of the best for this offense based off of the run game to carry you on those ends. And that's why Dolphin fans, I'd be nervous right now because I'm nervous because I feel I see the direction they're headed and I like it, but until we secure not a average tackle, not an above average tackle, not a good tackle, you need a great or an elite tackle to pull this off. Until we secure that, this is a nerve-wracking moment right now. Because we were not a guard away from having a run game, ladies and gentlemen. And I know Miami's not done, but everybody's counting on them right now to finish this up and get it done. They have to get a tackle, at least one really, really, really good tackle, man. I'm talking about great, man, or elite. So I understand why Armstead is the guy. I know he's injury prone, and I don't like that either. I've expressed that a million times. But if he can stay healthy, and we're going to have to gamble on it because a guy like him is what you're going to need in this system. They cannot sell me on a middle of the road or an average or a solid guy to anchor this run game on the outside. They need a real high-profile player, and we have the money, and we have to secure that. Is that all we need to be a successful team? No. Let me tell you what else we need. We need something else that I think Chris Grier is trying to send a message and tell everybody. Chris Grier is trying to tell everybody the reason why we haven't made any big splashes in free agency. None of our moves were big splashes. Now, don't get me wrong. The guard we brought in was a steal. The guard was a steal. Okay? Gigi said Armstead waiting on Watson to sign the Saints. I know, but we're still in the running. We'll see how that goes. But the guard was a steal, but we still have not made any big name splashes in free agency. You know that aggressive talk? We haven't been like aggressive. The Jags and the Chargers been aggressive. Some could say Buffalo been aggressive with only 2 moves, bringing in Von Miller and O.J. Howard. That's aggressiveness. But we haven't been aggressive. We've been complimentary. And that's not a bad thing as long as we paint the whole picture and get us a tackle. But let me tell you what Chris Grier is trying to tell you. The same thing I was trying to tell some of y'all last year. This team is fine. It's good enough. Now, I know y'all going to kill me for saying that. But I told y'all that last year and y'all killed me. But Grier is trying to tell y'all right now, this team is fine. We already have the core and the personnel. This team is built to win. The players just need to play better. They need to play better. Everybody, not everybody, but many of the guys need to play better. And they are the younger guys, so you have to give them the time to develop. The only concern you have with younger guys that need to play better and get better is the fact that you're relying on too many guys to get better. We want Solomon Kinley to get better. We want Michael Dieter to get better. Oh, yeah, he was solid, but you still want him to get better. We want Austin Jackson to get better. We want Liam Eichenberg to get better. We want Tua Tagovailoa to get better. We want all of these linebackers to get better. We want Jalen Phillips to get better. The problem is we have to give all these guys an opportunity to get better. The only issue with that is it's unrealistic to ask them all to get better. It's not realistic for them all to get better. Some will get better this year. Some will stay the same. Some will decline. That's normal in the NFL. And the only way I see, and this is just my analysis, the only way I see the team that we're constructing to be contenders in the playoffs and further past that is if 90% of everyone we want to get better gets better, and it's so unrealistic. And this is why the original argument was, instead of seeing if 10 guys can get better, bring in that one elite guy, and now you only need 5 guys to get better, because the one elite guy masks some of the issues of some of your guys, and you don't need as many people to get better. That's where we are. Gigi said if Watson go to Cleveland, Miami not making playoffs. It's going to be hard enough to make the playoffs even if Watson goes to the NFC. It's going to be hard enough. Even if Watson goes to the NFC. The AFC is already loaded with or without Watson. Watson doesn't determine if we go to the playoffs. He can affect it, but he doesn't determine it. So right now, free agency, and you know what? If you're, most of the real Dolphin fans, deep down inside, they're happy about the moves we're making, but they don't feel overly excited about it. Because, and I gotta say this to be optimistic in this regard. Sometimes the best moves aren't the exciting ones. But these moves still make you question the whole outlook of the team. Because you evaluate the team as a whole and you ask yourself, how much better have we gotten so far in free agency? And the truth is, it's not that much better than we were last year. Why do I say that? Because we've gotten a lot of players that we're optimistic and hopeful that they can be something that they weren't at their previous team. Let's take the first wide receiver that we got from the Dallas Cowboys. We love his talent. We love the intangibles. We know what he ran at the combine. We love the highlights. But we're betting on his upside to play at a number 2 level. And he's never been a number 2. If I'm not mistaken, he's played 3 or 4 years and never had over 600 yards. If I'm not mistaken. Or 700. So these moves are moves where we feel like we're bringing in a guaranteed guy who's had 1,000 yards several times. These are moves that we hope that we can get the best out of them where they can now be an 1,000-yard receiver. Same thing with the running back room. We're bringing in a guy who averaged 5.1 yards per carry, not Mostert, but our first signing. We're bringing him in hoping that he can bring that same production to Miami and get more yards than he's ever got in his career, as the yardage per year is still a backup running back. And at the end of the day, we're obviously going to go by committee because you brought in Mostert. We're definitely going by committee, ladies and gentlemen. That is a give-in at this point. But be real, Dolphin fans. Be real. We know what time it is. I know the news broke that Collins got released. Let's see where he goes. Because now he has a choice. If Miami can't get Armstead, I hope that they can secure most Collins. I hope he can. Because if we don't secure him and we don't get Armstead, we might have failed drastically because you had to make the trade. If he chooses to go to the Patriots, that's going to be a huge fail for Miami if we don't get either of them. Because we're not typically a preferred destination by free agents, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need to get into why and start debating. But we don't need to get into the facts of we're not really a preferred destination. And y'all hit the like button on your way in. We got 342 people. Shout out to everybody from H Community that's in here with us, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. So I know people said no tax, but I believe they were pursuing J.C. Jackson. He chose taxes. Heavy taxes, too. Heavy. And with his contract, he basically gave up almost an extra $2 million in salary versus if he would have came to Florida. So the reality is, I hope the Patriots don't get Collins over us because they've been rumored to be the front runners now. But all of that was during trade time. Now we're looking at free agent now. He can choose where he wants to go. I hope Greer can finish this off. I hope he can finish this off and at least secure one tackle and see where we are this year and next year. Keep investing on the line. We'll see, though. Somebody said, TD, where the Dolphins got better is the coaching staff. Well, Ronald, I would love to believe that, but I'm the type of person I can't give credit until I see it. Every time we get a new coach, we feel we've gotten better. There's hype around it. We're excited. Look at where we are now. But for some reason, we automatically want to say our coaches are better than what we had, even though most of them have never coached in their position. This is the first time they've been promoted where they are, whether it's head coach, whether it's OC, whether it's quarterback, whatever. We cannot automatically say where we got better is coaching. That is a blatant assumption that we always do as Dolphin fans just because. We will determine that when we put guys on the field and the product is a reflection of their coaching. It is a reflection of their coaching. So I'll see. I like our coaches. I love the unit, what they brought in. But now that they have the reins and control of this organization, they're on the clock starting the first week or second week of September. Coaches are judged based off of their W's and losses, not quarterbacks, coaches. Coaches are judged on wins and losses. Quarterbacks aren't. I've never been that person to be putting wins and losses on quarterbacks. And with that being said, that brings up another topic that I want to clear up. I want to make clear my position. This year's wins and losses does not determine Tua Tagovailoa's future. This year's wins and losses does not determine his future. Whether we make the playoffs or not does not determine Tua Tagovailoa's future. It would be unfair to him to let wins and losses determine his future, and it would also be an advantage of him to allow wins and losses to determine his future. What will determine his future is how well he plays. Y'all ain't gonna want to hear this, but it is the truth. I don't care if we win 4 games. That does not determine his future. Because if we win 4 games and he plays like Deshaun Watson when he won 4 games, then Tua Tagovailoa is my quarterback. Period. If he wins 12 games and plays like hot trash, we need to move on. It's that simple. You cannot put wins and losses on him. If we just missed the playoffs because we won 10 games, but the AFC was tough, how did he play? Just because we missed the playoffs doesn't mean it was a reflection because of him. Just like last year, we didn't miss the playoffs only because of him. He was a factor, but it wasn't just because of him. It wasn't just because of the trash O-line. It wasn't just because of the lack of a run game. It wasn't just because of the incompetence of the coaching staff. There was no one area to blame last year for missing the playoffs. It was a collective effort and that's one of the reasons. This is one of the few reasons why I was never tripping about the Brian Flores firing. I would have still kept him one more year, but I wasn't tripping about his firing because at the end of the day, you had too many factors that contributed to not making the playoffs. As a coach, if you don't make the playoffs, you need 1 or 2 factors that cause you not to, so that we have a clear picture how we could proceed the next year to try to get in. But we had 5, 6, 7 factors of why we didn't make it. That's coaching to me. That ultimately that's it's up to the coaching and the general manager. Too many elements of why we didn't. Too many. Too many. So, believe it or not, I'm excited about this year, but I gotta be honest with y'all and tell y'all this. We knew that this team needed to build around Tua to give him a fair shot. As of right now, the way our roster is constructed, this isn't the fair shot we envisioned. I gotta be honest, whether he's good or not, whether he can be a good quarterback or not, we don't know. Time will tell, right? But this isn't the fair shot of everything we thought we'd get to support him, to be honest. And why do I bring that up? I bring it up because of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know why people are out here speaking negative about what the Jaguars are doing. Oh, the Jaguars, all they doing is overpaying. No, do you know what the Jaguars are doing? Something we should have been done. You know what that is? They are putting a team in place no matter what it costs so that they can determine earlier rather than later whether or not they have a franchise quarterback. They are putting together a team, even if they have to overpay, so that their quarterback has no excuses, so they can determine in year 2 if he's the real deal or not, so that if he's not the real deal, they can move on without mystery, without question, without, yeah, but if we would have did this, maybe he could have, or maybe if that was better, he could have. They're doing it the right way. It's not even about building the ultimate winner right now for them. It's about determining and making sure that they can 1,000% not end up in a situation like the Miami Dolphins still don't know. Not end up like the Cleveland Browns and still trying to figure it out. That's what it's about. Nobody's ever debated whether or not Tua had everything around him. Because for the record, he hasn't. He hasn't been supported. And I don't judge him off of the things he hasn't been supported with. I only judge him on the things that he can control, and he still got to get better just in the simple things he can control. But with that being said, this this makes me mad that they don't get everything for him, and here's why. If the team gets better this year, it still won't mean we know if he's the guy or not. Unless he absolutely balls out, right? But we have to create an environment where we know without a shadow of a doubt that he's the guy or not. Because my biggest fear is this situation dragging on for 7 years without knowing. My biggest desire at this point is finding out this year. Because if they still don't put everything around him and he improves, I don't want to use the word a little bit. He has a good improvement. It still leaves you like, oh my gosh, he still got to get better. But I did recognize improvement. If he has that, I know some of y'all will be like, nah, he got to go then. But it's still debatable because they didn't do everything to put around him to know. Now, you know me, I still going to have my take unless he shows it. But at the same token, if they haven't moved on already, then he'll go into his 4th year. Why can't we just create an environment where we leave no shadow of a doubt? As young as he is, spend all the money, get him everything he needs. When Chris Greer said we're going to be aggressive, let me tell y'all what I thought that meant. I thought he was going to get the 2 best tackles in the league, and he was going to get one of the best centers in the league, and let everybody else battle it out for guard. You got anchors on the O-line, and they're veterans, and they'll help the few young guys you put at the guard position. And we would have still had a little bit of money left over to get the same running backs we got now and the same receivers we have now. You may have not been able to get like your special teams ace that we just got. You may not be able to make moves like that. You might have not been able to get your second, the other receiver we just got from San Francisco. You know, guys that don't expect to play that much anyway. But that would have been the move right there. And you would have been able to keep just Gesicki. But that would have been the move right there. 3 solidified O-linemen, the same running backs who are pretty good in a by committee system, and that would have been good enough right there alone, with the addition, of course, of the receivers we brought, to see how good our quarterback can be. So at the end of the day, man, I just hate that our team still leaves us with questions. And I got to address one more thing as well before I drop the link and let some of y'all come in and give me your thoughts on free agency and everything, and we'll have an open discussion. I got to say this. Dolphin fans, we have to stop looking at our roster and saying, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Whatever positions those are. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as long as we go get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're happy. It's not about going to get somebody at a position you need. It's about what quality they are. That's like needing a right tackle. And as long as you go sign Jesse Davis in free agency, yay, we got one. What? The quality of what we got matters. We got to stop making it seem like just because we secured somebody at a position of need, that the pickup was great because we needed somebody at that position. Yeah, they could pick me up at any position. I probably ain't going to give no production. Y'all going to be wanting me fired after one season, but y'all, like, we sound like we'll be excited about it. Come on, man. We got to start looking at who we're getting. We all thought that we were going to be getting a top flight receiver. Tell me I'm wrong. And some top tackles in the league. And what we got were guys that we hope could turn the corner and become really solid for us. Miami, we're in a desperate mode. And y'all notice every little $3 million signing we make, our money's getting lower and lower. And you're looking like, hey, now, y'all ain't forget we need tackle, right? Just want to make sure. That's all I'm saying, man. This free agency, I love the moves they made, but I wouldn't be excited about these moves unless we knew 1,000% that we had a franchise quarterback. I don't feel like these who are quarterback. So we have to make sure with the remaining money that we have to make sure that we are doing whatever we can at this last minute to get him at least what we've been calling for even since Tannehill was here, protection. Protection. We have to, Miami, get it done. If you are going to continue to invest in Tua Tagovailoa, then he deserves that. If we fail him this time, this ain't no shade to him. Trade the man because you're not setting him up for success. Why are you keeping him on the field without the necessary products that he's going to need and making his stock fall more and more and more? I know I used to be like, ain't nobody sabotaging that man, but that's let me just see if I can make a word. That's sabotatory. Sabotatory. I mean, it really is. It really is, man. But anyway, man, I'm about to drop the link. See if some of y'all want to come in here and have a conversation about this, your thoughts. We're going to keep it civil, cordial, and everybody respect each other's thoughts. I'm going to drop the link. Let me see. I'm on my phone stream, yards. I've never done this before. Let me see. I've done it, but let me see. How do I do this? Drop the link in here. Ooh, that's a good question. Y'all give me a second. I got to figure out how I'm going to drop it in here. Let me see. So they don't let me comment in the section. Y'all give me a moment. All right, y'all give me a second. Post comment. Here we go. There we go. I actually can. Didn't realize that. Let me hit that. All right. All right, I just dropped the link. If you want to come in and join the conversation, feel free. I'm not going to read any comments from this point. We're going to have a conversation on the field. I'm not really going to read comments because I'll be driving. Excuse me. So follow the link if you want to come in, join the conversation. We can talk for a bit. I think I just passed Alabama state lines, and I'm in Mississippi now, so I've dodged my ops. You know, in Alabama, I got some real life ops, y'all. So I've dodged my ops, and now I'm in Mississippi. So, whew. Oh man! All right, we got. Hold on. All right, I see y'all coming backstage. Give y'all some time to get in the building. Phins Fanatic, what's up, man? Did he freeze on us? Hold on, give me a second. Maybe it's my Give me a second. I gotta check my audio. Give me a second, y'all. All right, let me bring Gio. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Phins Fanatic. I don't know what's wrong, but I can't hear you, bro. I don't know what's wrong, but I can't hear you, bro.
You hear me?
I don't know what's wrong, but I can't hear you, bro. I'm hearing. My bad, y'all. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to put my earpiece in because I'm hearing an echo. I'll get it together.
I'm hearing an echo too.
It's all good. That's on me. Give me a second. I'll get it together.
Oh, I keep echoing.
Hearing an echo too.
It's all good. That's on me. Give me a second. I'll get it together.
I keep hearing an echo too.
It's all good.
Kenny, what do you want?
All right, fellas, can y'all hear me?
Yep. Yeah, we hear
you.
you.
All right, we all good, man. So if we could just make sure we allow each other to talk and finish our points and stuff, because I'm trying to make sure I focus on doing what I'm doing and
Can you hear
driving.
me?
So we can hear you. It's on y'all, man.
Yeah,
so
we hear you.
what y'all think about free agency so far?
Honestly, I'm not really impressed. And I'm gonna say this from a past standpoint. Just looking at the stuff they did from the past, you get all these somewhat mediocre people in, and then we have a mediocre season. And you know what's the running back we just signed? Wasn't he here before?
Yeah. Raheem Mostert.
So
Yeah,
that's one of my biggest worries, having a coach that's never done it before. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against him, but I like the eye test better. My eyes hear better than my eyes see better than my ears. You know what I'm saying? That's where I am at this point as far as with the team, trying to see what's going to be what.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I am wrong, but are y'all sure that Moser was here? Or y'all talking about Matt Breida?
Yeah, I don't think Mostert was here.
Oh, okay.
Y'all talk about Matt. Y'all talk about Matt Breida.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's my bad.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins are taking Cincinnati Bengals approach to this whole situation. Put enough weapons around them with a decent but not decent O-line, and then see what we have in actual Tua, and not let's just spend all this money on the O-line when we don't have the quarterback for this O-line.
Well, the problem with that is here's where the problem with that comes. Let's say we had a good left tackle and a good left guard, right? Look, and the issue with that is this: if the center, the right guard, and the right tackle plays like trash, like Cincinnati, because the only thing they had good on the line last year was their two left side guys. Everybody else was trash, just like the guys we got. Okay, now if we do that and Tua underperforms, they're still gonna we're still going to criticize. It's because the O-line. If Tua gets sacked 10 times in a game like Burrow, we're still going to blame the O-line. We're not going, especially if he doesn't perform anyway like Burrow did when he did. So that's why I don't think it's a matter of give him a halfway decent line to see if he can perform, and then if he can, invest around him. No, Burrow's just that good to where he can perform regardless, even though he got killed.
With all the quarterbacks in the AFC, like we need a quarterback that can perform no matter what that O line looks like. Like we need that with all the quarterbacks in the AFC.
Because right now he has to outplay Josh Allen. That's the only thing I see. Not Mac
He has
Jones.
to outplay Mac Jones.
I don't see him having to outplay Mac Jones or Zach Wilson. It's really the Josh Allen is his only really, you know what I'm saying, competition in trying to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's literally what we need, man. This is my take right here. I am so disappointed. I'm sorry for bringing it up again with the Watson. Yep. The Watson. Yeah. He wanted to come here. In my eyes, he's a top five quarterback. And literally last season, I know you guys all remember Stephen Ross saying, once he's all cleared up, we're going to go get him. We're going to go get you once everything's all clear. So literally that had me so excited thinking, oh, we're going to have Deshaun Watson on our team in the future. Now Chris Greer comes up saying the door is shut. I'm just disappointed on it, man. I'm just disappointed. And as far as my take on the free agency going right now, as far as now, it's okay. He said he wants to be aggressive. I haven't seen aggressive. You know, I'm just disappointed in the team right now.
Yep, it's going to be the same thing as last year, I think.
Yeah.
James, you had a really bad reception, bro. That's why I backed you out. You had a really bad reception.
I just think Tua needs elite all around him, and you know, this year. So I think it's going to be the same thing as last year.
Literally. Yep.
Well, what they're trying to do is establish the run game, but now they still going to have to secure tackles. And another thing that nobody's talking about too, we can't settle for great run blocking tackles, but bad pass blocking tackles.
Yeah.
You need guys who are great at both. Just like our guard, right? You see the guard that we just got? He was the 15. Yeah. I like the pickup. From my understanding, he was the 15th best guard, right? And that is really good.
Yeah, that's good.
But you're the third best run blocking guard. So if you're the third best in run blocking and your overall is 15, where do you think the pass blocking is?
Yeah, TD, just like last year.
It has to be somewhere like around the 30s. No, how can your run blocking be third and your pass blocking be 12 and you're 15th overall?
Yeah, you're right. That's right in the middle.
Yeah, like TD last year.
The pass blocking probably was somewhere in the 30s.
Tua just got to get defenses to respect his over-the-top throws. If he can get them to respect that area of his game, I think that he'll be able to like maximize his like skill set. If he just get defenses to respect him, like I'm gonna throw the ball over your head. If you like, because what everyone's gonna do is the same thing for the last 2 years, like stack the box and like you're not gonna run the ball. We want to see if Tua can actually throw the ball over our head.
And Tua actually had some of his worst games when we ran the ball well. So
yeah.
Well, will this offensive system even stretch the field like that.
They won't.
Not with Tua.
I mean, you really can't.
No,
I mean, Waddle's the only
regardless of with Tua
speedster.
or not.
Don't get me wrong,
Regardless of-
Cedric Wilson can do something too. I've seen him, do what he can, and Dak over or underthrow him.
I mean, he could throw 70 yards now, so we good.
Y'all a mess. But nah, I think that he's gonna take shots this year. I just want to make sure we get him where he needs so that we can really evaluate those shots.
Hey, TD, what else you think? What else we need besides the offensive tackle? You think we solidified at the wide receiver position right now?
No.
Well. I'm gonna push back on everybody who's just said no.
I think Cedric Wilson is gonna have a breakout year, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think we need more route runners.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. See, and this is where we'll all probably disagree, which is fine. But I thought our receiving core was just fine last year. Because again, look at all the opportunities we left.
You breaking up, TD?
On the field,
you breaking up.
But you got to maximize.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I said, look at last year. Look at the guys we had last year. I felt like that was enough.
Yeah.
Look at how many things we left on the table. It ain't a perfect science, y'all. You don't have to have the best of the best.
I get what he's saying.
Yeah, it's breaking up a little more.
I agree. I agree with what he was going to say. Is we don't have to have the best of the best. If we need the best of the best around us, then obviously the problem is our quarterback. If he needs all greats around him to be good, then he's the problem.
And here's the thing with TD just said, our wide receiver group. Who's our number one right now? Jalen Waddle?
Probably Devontae.
Nah, he's not.
Yeah, that's my bad, y'all. I'm on these back roads, man. So y'all just take up the conversation when I cut out, or either that or my ops tracking me, man.
But here's the thing, Devontae Parker, is he solidified this season to be in Miami?
I don't think so. Me personally, I think he's going to get traded or something's going to happen with him. I'll be surprised, but it's the Dolphins again, so I can't really say I'll be surprised too because they know him to do. Not taking away from him, but we need to go younger. If you see what Waddle's doing, we need to go younger.
I mean, Waddle is already Tua's number one receiver in his eyes. That's all he look at.
But we didn't even use Waddle how he's supposed to be used last year.
We used him to the best of our abilities. Like
we still have Willer as well.
Now, being that Waddle wasn't used how he was supposed to, was that a Flores thing or?
Nah, that's O-line and the scheme.
I think it honestly was a Flores thing, low-key. I think he kind of.
I mean, that's part scheme too, because you've seen sometimes Waddle like, "Hey, I'm right here,"
wide open.
He just won't throw it. He just won't throw it.
Hey, y'all do realize Flores don't throw Waddle the ball, right?
I know, but it's a scheme thing. It's kind of like your first look is where you need to go, and I don't care about your second or third. If you go to your second or third, you probably don't have that time for that. So your first look is where you need to go, and if it's not there, still throw it over there.
I mean, Tua was best at his quick throws, so I mean, Waddle was always
that first target.
Yeah.
Well, he was your playmaker. If y'all worried about that, you're gonna see 2 times that this year. That is Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel is going to get the ball in the playmaker hand as quick as possible and let them make the play.
What I did think of is when they re-signed Preston Williams, I said, what if they use him in like a Debo way because he is big, solid, and a little quick?
You're not durable enough for that, though.
Debo, I think.
He's too big for that.
For the record, we do not have a Debo Samuels on this roster.
No,
I never
not
said
close. Not close.
I know people keep trying to fit one in.
I think
somebody.
Lynn Bolden Jr. beat that role.
He ain't no Debo
he's
either.
the closest, but he's not.
Bolden.
You guys
Lynn
seen Christian Wilson in the draft though? He kind of reminds me of a little bit of Debo.
Minus the speed, right? And agility.
Yeah, just a little bit.
The closest thing we got
Go ahead.
The closest thing we got to Debo on the roster, it would be Cedric Wilson. If you watch what he did last year with the Cowboys, as far as how they used him all over the field.
I agree.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Agree with that.
Why
Do
don't
I
you
would
running
agree
backs
with that as
anybody
well.
He's
does
been
anybody
released?
think that like if Tua can't get it done and the offense can't get it done, that some of the players that we drafted might leave?
Nah, I think because he's too much of a likable person. Like
Maybe.
No, not
We don't
Tua,
know.
not Tua. I'm talking about the rookies like Jalen Waddle. If he's not getting the yards you think he should get, y'all don't think he's going to want to leave?
I think you
Javon
definitely
Holland,
will.
if we not
nah, I don't
if
think so.
In a couple
I'm
years,
pretty
I
sure,
think
bro.
2 years, if Tua doesn't show that he could better Waddle's career, I think he would exercise leaving.
So y'all saying,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
See, when guys,
y'all saying like
it
he's
don't,
another Baker Mayfield or something?
no,
Bro,
it
you
happens.
got a guy running a 4.2 speed. And
Baker
he's
Mayfield
running
won a
drag
playoff
routes all game.
game.
He's not going to want to do that all game. He's going to want to go down the field.
Yeah, guys like Waddle, when you're a guy who everybody knows you have the potential to be a superstar, then yes, they'll exercise their options and get the heck out of Miami. But this isn't that time for that. You know, Waddle's
Yeah,
gonna
but
do. Waddle got 2 more years before he even start thinking like that.
Right.
Exactly. But we also got 2 more years probably with Tua.
No, one more.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think it's
Possibly.
this
Depending
year
how he
right here.
Y'all say
that's
no.
what I'm trying. It could be 2 years is a real possibility, y'all. Y'all need to come to that understanding. See. Here's the deal. Tua may get better, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question. If the team we put, say you get the same Tua, right? If the team you put around him is better, isn't the team going to play better? Stays the same. If the team around him, the running backs are better, so we're running more, blah, blah, blah. Tua's stats are the same. He's the same guy. He may miss this here and there, but the running game is better. Are we not going to be a better team regardless?
Do we make the playoffs though?
It depends on the defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can make the playoffs too, but all I'm saying is it depends on their evaluation. If they feel like even with Tua with his flaws is something they want to build around and try to win, it's no difference from Jimmy G. Jimmy G is who they thought he was, but they continued to build because they felt like even that may have been good enough, and they tried their hardest, and they got close. And not until now are they like, yeah, it's time to just move on.
So is that a learning lesson though? They got close, and it came to one pass he had to make down the middle, and Jimmy couldn't do it. So is that a like? If you're taking that San Francisco,
everybody got pride, and they want to say, "Well, this is us, not them. We can do it better." You see what I mean? Everybody got pride.
Yeah.
Did Jimmy G win a snow game or rain game before? Like a game in the snow or rain?
I'm not sure about that one.
They play in
Don't
California.
put that on that man. It was his first time.
Hey, TD, do you think we get Collins since he's been released by Dallas?
I know that we'll be a player for him because we'll be giving an offer, but we still got to wait to make sure that Armstead goes to the Saints because we just have to do our due diligence. We have to see. I think they're waiting, but the problem is I just hope that we don't play ourselves and get left out of anybody.
A lot of players are waiting to see where Watson go. That's the thing. It's a lot of key free agents that hasn't signed to anybody that's probably waiting to see where Watson go.
Like Jarvis Landry.
A lot of people. Because even if you go to Atlanta and they don't got no receivers right now, the Texans already paid him $20 million this year because they didn't trade him before the league year. So he's only going to count probably 15, 20 after they trade him.
Yeah, whatever team take Watson, they're gonna restructure anyway. I bet you he only count by 8 to 15 million versus the cap this year.
And they're going to put some receivers around him. So
yeah, they're gonna load up, and it might be if it's in the NFC,
sad Miami
they got a good shot.
it's sad Miami is not trying to do this. I'm hoping that they surprise everybody.
I'm hoping
And
too, man.
they say,
That's what I can pray for.
like a black horse type of deal. But
Like they already telling Tua,
it's not
just
looking
wait.
good.
We already gonna trade you. You just let him do his thing, and we gonna get you at the back door, no problem.
Well, this is the second time a really good quarterback wanted to come to the Dolphins, and we just like somehow mess it up.
Because who doesn't want to come to Miami? Like, who doesn't want to come live in Miami? No state taxes. You get millions of dollars. You're probably gonna have one of the best houses. It's easy.
Warm weather.
Yeah,
What's up, fellas?
Hey, everybody. Somebody's audio is really bad. So do me a favor. I need everybody to mute real quick. We got to figure out who that is. Christopher, if you can come in. If y'all can come in one by one, we're going to start with the top, middle. If you can say something.
Hello?
Yeah, now the next one. If you can come in at the top right and say something. Reginald?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you good. Sharif?
Hey, Phins up.
All right, GG.
Yes, sir.
All right, and I think it might be Project.
Yo.
All right, I don't know what that was. I guess whoever had dropped out at the end there. Esteban, you should be good.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I know somebody was real bad. I think it was whoever dropped out real quick right before I told y'all to. So y'all can go ahead, bro.
Yeah, my biggest fear is just that the players that got drafted, mainly Waddle, if they're not getting on the ball like he needs to be, because Waddle is a superstar, and if he's not putting up superstar type numbers, I'm thinking he's going to try to exercise his options after 2 years.
That's why I said we're not using him like, all right, he's getting 100 catches a year, but we're not using him like how we should be using him.
Yeah, you got a receiver
We're using
running
him like
a
we had
4.2.
like when we had Jarvis Landry, and he not Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry is a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker than him, and it's just like I don't know.
That's why I said I'm not impressed with the hire.
Route running polished.
That's why I say I'm not impressed with the hire. I want to see the eye test. I hear all these great things about McDaniels, but like you said, it's like you said, I'm the best rapper ever, but I don't got a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just gotta say,
he's so great, but he the dopest rapper alive. But where's songs at?
I'll eat my words if I have to, but I'm just not looking forward to another year of short passes and bubble screens and what I mean.
That's what the West Coast offense is going to be.
Just get used to it.
Just sweeps. Like, I mean, people are thrilled about that, and I'm like, y'all don't want to push the ball down the field. I mean, did y'all hear? I don't remember what game it was, but we had a game where the broadcaster was saying, "Man, I sure would like to see what this Waddle guy could do on the deep pass," and you know what I mean. And that's no shade at overall, you could attribute that to like the whole offense, linemen, quarterback,
Herbert.
Yeah, lineman, quarterback. I'm not just singling out Tua because you can. People are always going to push back and say, well, if they protect from, okay. I'm just throwing the entire offense as a whole into it.
That's why I thought we needed more route runners, like people that know how to run routes, because that would give Jalen Waddle the opportunity to actually run deep routes. Because like every time a defense is like sees Jalen Waddle full speed ahead, they're like, oh. That's like the safety is gonna be like, oh, I'm a cover that. Like I'm not gonna let that happen. But like if we had route runners, like there'd be a lot more options.
They could have got Amari Cooper for a 4th round pick.
Let's
give him a 4th.
I know they did it with Jimmy G, but the film is out there on a year of that, and I think that's gonna make it that much harder for us to do it. They're gonna have to figure out a way to push the ball down the field because we're gonna get stopped. It's going to happen again. We can't go back into this, even though it's like a different philosophy to an extent. I just don't. I'm not feeling. I'm not thrilled about it. I just got to be honest. I just know that the AFC stacked, and we're not one of the players right now. So I mean, I see it for what it is.
They're going to run the ball a lot, so
yeah,
they're probably going to be like a a Ravens type deal with him trying to run the ball, and y'all going to not be able to get good receivers because nobody's going to want to come to somewhere that's running the ball every single down. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Why was our offense better with Chan Gailey?
Because y'all have Fitzpatrick.
Fitz.
Yeah.
Did I miss something? Did Watson sign already with somewhere, or did I miss something?
They're saying the Saints.
I didn't get no alert.
That's the top team right now, the Saints.
Yeah, like they're doing whatever it takes to get Watson. They said they're clearing up cap. They're hitting the best offer out there. I mean, for him, it would be the best situation to go to with a great offensive line. You got Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
And,
Who do you
Taysom
trade
Hill.
him? Who do you give him? Who do you get? What do you get the Texans?
I don't know, but they already got a deal in place, so they offering somebody.
Yeah.
I mean Kamara.
They're not going to trade no key players because the Texans want picks and young players on their rookie contract.
I got to be honest. If I'm a Browns fan right now, after all, I don't know if y'all remember the history of that team, but like they've had multiple drafts of like just tanking and trying to get quarterbacks. And I mean, they went from the most recent one was Johnny Football to Baker Mayfield. I mean, I'm just saying
they've been spoiled.
They should have. Well, I mean, how spoiled is it if you're not even making the playoffs? Look at the results for the past.
Because they need a quarterback.
Dolphins in the last
best
10 years.
defense, best offensive line, good receivers, and your quarterback sucks. So that's where the Dolphins going to be if they can't get the quarterback position right.
Yeah,
guys, have the best O line, best receivers. But
y'all missed the point that I'm saying. Like as far as contention, that division has been ran by the Ravens and the Steelers, and you never hear about the Browns. Is what I'm saying. So I'm saying for those fans, I feel for them because they wanted Watson. And for them to just bow out, man, they should have thrown the kitchen sink at this deal.
You feel for them?
Yeah, bro, that would suck. Bro, they haven't even won a Super Bowl. We're sitting here complaining about 50 years. Talk about never. Bro,
I mean, they could probably their team is so good. Their team is so good. They could probably get Jimmy G and be just as good because Baker Mayfield sucks. They can get Jimmy G. They can get They can get Jameis Winston. Their team is ready to compete now. They done spent the money. They had the receivers. They had a running game. They just need a quarterback.
Yeah, that ain't
that's all they need.
Bro. How y'all guys doing, man?
What's up?
I mean, Watson is not the end all be all for that team. That team is loaded. Their quarterback
go ahead, Sharif.
Sucks.
Yeah, man. I want to take the conversation back to what really makes sense. And,
You're breaking up, bro.
Did he cut out?
I think so. I'm not sure. I don't hear him no more.
Sharif, you may be struggling with your reception, bro, if you can hear us. I'm not sure if you can, but nobody can hear you.
But in my head, I think the Dolphins, like I said when we did the build around tour, I think they should just grab 3 good offensive lines, 2 tackles, a center, and then see where that led us. Because you got to see what Tua can do. Everybody wants to say, he could be the next Drew Brees. Put an offensive line in front of him that can give him the time to make decisions so as though he doesn't have to look flustered in the pocket. That's what I think. I mean, our skill position players was good enough. They saying we didn't have time to throw him the ball. So if you get an offensive line, we had the time to throw the ball. Maybe not that much of a difference, but enough of a difference to where as though an extra second or two.
What type of record y'all think we can produce out of this year so far?
7 wins.
What we got?
Probably 6 wins.
I'm going to go with 8. 8 between 8 and 9 wins.
Yeah.
So y'all gonna go less than what we had last year?
I say 7 to 8.
I'm like I said before.
Because I looked at them.
I hear everybody bigging McDaniels up, but I got to do it on my eye test first. I'm not gonna go with my ears because I've heard it so many years before. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Let's see it on the field, man. Let's see it on the field. Let's talk about it then. Let's see, like you normally say. Let's let it play out.
It sounds good, but everybody's been getting better. The Jets been getting better. the Buffalo Bills got Von Miller, so you got him coming off the edge with the
See, that's
offense
what
that
y'all.
we can barely stop.
That's what y'all better pay attention to. You think we blew the Jets out last year?
No, it was tough. They
actually
games.
gave us 2 tough games, and they've gotten better.
And
I
Zach
ain't talking
Wilson
about
is getting
Dolphins
better.
better. They got a lot better.
Exactly.
The Chargers is what, like, big eye opener, and it's going to be a test for Justin Herbert too. Like, yo, we put almost everything around you on the defense. We don't got no more excuses for you. We got you your wide receiver and tight end and online. Let's get us over the hump.
But it wasn't Justin Herbert. They had bad play calling. I mean, him going on it on 4th and down every time, it's not saving your team when you should have just kicked field goals. You could have won a lot of those games. So it's on Justin Herbert, but it's not on Justin Herbert 100%. Like, Justin Herbert balled out, probably was the second leading passer in the league last year. He was not the problem.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Defense.
If we don't get
defense got shored up because they just got Khalil Mack, so you can't double Joey Bosa. You got a corner to pair up with the safety, Derwin James. Their team is getting better. We're moderately getting better. Their team is drastically getting better. Everybody in the AFC is drastically trying to get better to compete with the Chiefs. The Broncos are getting better. They just
Raiders
picked up Russell Wilson, who's going to drastically change that offense, and y'all already had a good defense without Von Miller. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for the Miami Dolphins to make the playoffs. It's not going to be easy. I really don't think the Miami Dolphins, even if they went 11-5.
No, not with the moves that we made this offseason.
What people have to understand is we could have traded for Watson, and the way the AFC is now, it's gonna be hard. I mean, bro, really stop looking at the Dolphins. Everybody, for 1 second, act like you in the Dolphin fan and go evaluate the freaking AFC. Man, these teams are loaded.
I watch everybody.
They don't care. They're going for it now.
I watch everybody. I watch every single team.
The Bengals are all in on Joe Burrow, and it shows that they trust him for real.
Well, you could be all in on somebody that performed when he had less.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They probably would have won the Super Bowl if they had a better offensive line.
I
think they could have won the game if they had a better offensive line.
That's what I'm saying. They had a below average offensive line, and then you had
because they didn't start tripping into the 4th quarter when Aaron Donald woke up.
Exactly. And then TD, didn't you say Joe Burrow called the first 15 plays on his own because his headset was out?
Yeah, I didn't even know that. When I found that out, you know me, I'm like, God, dog, I get jealous, so I don't like talking about it.
We're gonna be jealous for the next 10 years watching.
See, that's another thing that nobody talks about. We just talk about what we putting around people and building around, but we're not talking about the things like being able to read a defense, being able to call your own protections. All this stuff has nothing to do with who's around you. Being able to identify stuff, that has nothing. Being able to audible in multiple plays that can get you in a better situation versus just running the play anyway, even though you know it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, but like you said, that probably kind of hindered to it because coming from Alabama, you probably didn't have to check out of stuff because you could stay in the 8-man box and know that it's a run play and still run the ball and get 6 yards.
True.
Yeah, because you play with the best of the best.
See, and that's what people don't understand. Sometimes people be like, well, they got a better O-line. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all will kill me for this, but there's some O-lines that rank way better than us that could be worse than us. But you know what? They quarterback audible at the line of scrimmage.
Exactly. Like Tom
put them in a better position.
I got 8 defenders in the box. So instead of me just running the run play anyway, making my O-line look bad, quarterbacks are audibling out of that like you're supposed to when you got 8 in the box, and you get a quick slant or something like that, man. You dial up a play that's going to stress the defense. But we just run the play. Has anybody think about this stuff? These are the small
Yeah.
intangibles that, I mean, you make your O line look bad. Everybody, I mean, you got 8 against 6 in a blocking scheme.
I mean, but listen, I think that nobody on the defensive side respects Tua's arm enough, even though we got fast receivers, to where as though they're still not going to load the box. That's what I think.
Somebody say he literally audible a TD last year.
But what? 1 out of 100 plays?
Go look. No. See, it ain't about that.
This
See,
that's
we
what I
could
was
be
trying to
in the
explain
freaking
earlier.
red zone or something, and they may have a package. We may say something like, we might see something like, oh, DVP is 1-on-1 or whatever it may be. Okay, you switch to the 1-on-1. I like that. But go look at all the plays where you got 8 in the box, and every single one of them supposed to be auto. I mean, we'll look at 200 plays that are audible worthy, and we get 15 audibles, and that's only because it's obvious situations like red zone 1-on-1 on the outside. Okay, let me dial that up. And to be honest, even on those plays, he's usually audible and they're giving the receiver a signal. And it might have been a run play. Everybody's still blocking for the run, but he throws the fade, whatever it may be, or the slant. So I'm talking about real 20 to 20-yard line audibly. Real audibly.
But you know what really hurt me is that if you think about it, and I know y'all probably not gonna like this, but if they would have got Watson at the trade deadline, that probably could have been Miami in the Super Bowl. Like, you gotta think, who's gonna stop Waddle and Fuller going down the field? And yeah, Fuller only played a couple games, but I'm pretty sure he had a broken finger, but that was not the excuse. He probably figured that he was playing with Watson.
Yeah, it wasn't broken.
Like, you don't get a broken finger and then sit out for like 7 to 8 games.
That man wanted to be
Like, come
Watson.
on. It's people that play with broken fingers and their fingers crooked now. So I mean,
I wanna
didn't see
ask
nothing
y'all
but to
this
it.
though. I want to ask you guys this, right? Because I see there's a segment of the Dolphins are actually saying the coach turned it against Tua, right? And then you have a segment of the fans says we don't have no protection, right? Then there's a segment of the
Breaking up,
fans say
bro.
don't. There's a segment of the fans say don't blame Chris Greer, right? So my thing is this, right? This goes back to, you know, TD's talking about this about 2 years ago, right? You're looking at you're scouring the wire, looking at other people's offensive linemen, right? And I'm speaking to Greer now. When you were looking at a center that we needed, this is when you still had Fitzmagic, right? You could have brought in Panay, right? Even if you bring in Connor Williams with Eichenberg, Hunt, and Dieter, who can tell me now with Panay Sewell, Cesar Ruiz, Connor Williams, Hunt, and Dieter, that we're not even looking at offensive linemen in free agency? But you know what? 2 years are gonna tell me Greer did his best to help Tua. Flo went against Tua. Oh, the scouting department did their best. Get out of here because you were looking at talent, pedigree. See, they say they got a lot of young tackles,
That's
a
what
lot
they
of young
did with the
guards.
Bengals, though.
Hold up. You got a lot of young tackles. You got a lot of young guards. That's your fault, Greg, because you saw a pedigree. Yes, we wouldn't have had Waddle, but we would have had Panay and Ruiz. And tell me, would Karros would have gotten Tua killed? Would Tua would have broken his finger and his ribs with
Nope.
Panay, Sewell, and Ruiz? No.
You
So
don't
Greer,
know that.
hold up, Greer. Are you doing the best for Tua, or is Flo trying to turn against him? Who's doing the best for Tua here? Who? Because you're gonna get him killed,
every
and we're looking for
offseason they
offensive
fail.
linemen from other teams.
But that's
Every offseason
mainly
they fail.
Tua's fault. That's Tua's fault, because when they said that the Bengals should have drafted Penei Sewell and Burrow said, "Go get me my receiver," the guy that in college I put up 2,000 yards with, just with us two. That's who they went with, not the tackle, because Burrow knew that even if he didn't have the best offensive line, he had his main guy, and that's what they try to do for Tua with Jalen Waddle. Tua just didn't throw him the ball. He couldn't get him the ball for some odd reason. He couldn't get him the ball.
Yeah, but any competent fan would have seen Fitzmagic got killed. This is why you needed Cesar Ruiz to come in 2019. You needed Panay 2020.
Yeah, but
You under,
it was
so
it it was linemen in free agency last year that he could have picked up instead
What I'm
of drafting
saying
Penei
is,
Sewell.
what I'm saying, they're gonna say Flo was against the kid. How about protect the kid when you saw talent?
Well,
You saw pedigree.
Sharif is right though, because they've never really did the ultimate moves to protect him. And you're right, Sharif, but this is where I don't know why everybody keeps ignoring what I know to be a fact. I know this to be a fact. The reason why they never went for Ruiz and to get this man the real weapons is because they had another plan at the quarterback position.
Yeah, to get Watson.
That
Right.
was always the case. So,
Yes, and
and
Watson
that's
can overcome that. Yes.
well,
I
he's
don't know
one of the
why they
best in
not.
the league against
Well, he did a
pressure.
lot.
Just like Joe Burrow, he performs one of the best
Yes,
in the
That's
league
the only
Burrow
against
thing
can
that.
pressure.
overcome that. Mhm.
What happened?
No, I
I
was
said
That's
saying
why I
Burrow.
don't see. Good.
my
I
bad.
was saying
But
Burrow
you,
and Watson could overcome that. Yes.
yeah, they can, but you don't want to get them hit as much. But they wanted to secure them first and let the young guys develop, or then invest in them.
I'm just thinking they botching this rebuild because if you would have got Watson last year and picked up some linemen in the draft, I mean not in the draft and free agency, and drafted Waddle, added Fuller, Devontae Parker, Waddle in the slot, that offense is unstoppable, and we had a good defense. Like that's a Super Bowl team right there. With the defense, how the defense was playing after the trade deadline, that's a Super Bowl team.
And on top of that, they just have to admit that, at least as of right now, because who knows, he might turn out to be an elite guard or tackle. But so far, Austin Jackson is failing. They did invest there, right?
Yeah.
His rookie year, they did make that investment. So,
Yeah,
but
that's why I
he's
say don't get any more linemen in the draft. Like you got
he
to
could.
go for proven commodities.
Do you
So they
know that Ian Rappaport, Joe Shad, right, Jacques Pierre Lemieux, Omar Kelly, Cameron Wolf, everyone agrees that Greer shouldn't be drafting O-linemen anymore, and I agree with all of them. I agree with all. Don't let Greer draft offensive linemen
No,
anymore,
they don't. They
please.
don't. They don't need to let him in the building. Period.
Yeah, but who do you have
Listen,
in the building that can make the right decision?
If Ian Rappaport comes out and says that, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, but who do you have in the building that can make the right decision?
No one. They
Go
need to
get
go.
the dude from NFL Network. What's the black boy from NFL Network that everybody wanted to be their GM? That used to be I forget his name.
If we had Tenenbaum here still, we would have Justin Herbert. Just
I
saying.
tell you
Man,
what, man.
when I gotta say something, Sharif, when you're talking about getting protection for Tua, I think even now, if they don't get Collins, I don't know if he got signed yet. I don't. You guys, I've been at work most of the day, but man, I got a feeling that they might skip out on a linebacker. I do believe this, one or the other. In free agency, all right, let's say that they're not going after Watson, right? And that's out of the picture. Most likely, that's what's going to happen. So they don't sign a tackle or a linebacker. They could have got Jack, offered him something. But then you
Yeah, he
go
went to
into the
Pittsburgh.
then you go into the draft, and you need to address both those positions. I think that's what's going to end up happening. Is they're not going to sign any of these tackles. They're going to go into the draft and draft a young tackle,
I
which
got a
makes no,
question.
in my opinion, I'm tired of the young guys on that side of the ball. You know what I mean?
What,
And
what,
in all honesty, I think that first round draft pick, what they need to do, they need to use all the draft picks from next year and get rid of them because they ain't gonna be there anyways after what Ross got himself into with Flo. Flo don't want to give that up.
And
It looks like that's. I mean,
and
you
that's
have to plan. You got to plan for the worst. Just get rid of those picks and move up.
And that's
You
the
know,
man. That's where their plan B and C failed, like TD mentioned a couple of months ago. You know you were getting Watson, right? Okay, you failed. You moved up to get Burrow. You failed. Teddy Bridgewater told you then he wasn't coming here. Okay, so what do? You know Tua is coming back from a hip injury. Your second step supposed to be getting Tua, securing him at 5, knowing you can't get worse. and get yourself a new center. That's an easy plan C.
What
You
about
failed
letting
it.
coaches
You
They
pick
could
the
have got
failed
the
players?
that.
boy that the
You
Chargers got.
failed that. I'm sorry, you failed that, and then you get this kid killed. Now look what we have to deal with. We're looking at Fisher and these old farts. I mean, come on, man.
What about letting the coaches pick who they want in their system? Like, why is
No
that
one
not
can tell
more
me
appealing?
Greer does not make these picks. Greer's a specialist at signing 2-year contracts. He's the
That's what
one.
I'm saying. Like,
He's.
sorry, stop
No, go
letting
ahead.
these GMs that are not on the field or not at practice every single day pick players when like the coaches are right there 100% every day and they know the kind of player, the type of player, the mentality of player they need. And like, stop letting these GMs do it.
And if
Saints
you
did it.
watch
Yeah,
the
They
but
won the
it
Super
Dolphins,
was a
Bowl.
power struggle though. It was a
and
power
if you
struggle.
watch
That's
the
what they said.
Dolphins YouTube, you'll see that they integrated a new young scouting team with 2 females in the department, an Asian, another guy. All of them are under McKinsey and Allen. And my thing is this: these guys are convicted that they make picks based
Yeah.
on what the scouts have been scouting for years and months on. You think they're gonna go to Flo and say, "We're going with what you want, Flo"? They're going with
Well,
what they do.
they let
Believe
Flo
that.
pick the defense, and
No,
look
believe
how that
me.
turned out.
That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. If I'm a scouting department representative and my job is to go cross half states, you think I'm letting Flo pick for me and my resources what I did for almost a year?
I think he had.
I'm telling Flo, this is what I did, and I think this is what's best for the team. So
I
don't
think he
give
had.
me that Flo picked. Flo
I think.
ain't picked nothing.
I think he had to say so in Raekwon and like Javon Hollins. I
He
think he
was
had to
home
say.
in his house. He was excited when they got him. He was home in his house. Why do people
But
try to do that to Flo?
I still think he had a say so in it, like
No, I disagree.
a recommendation or
Chris
something.
He
Greer
definitely
makes
had to
that pick
say
in the
so on
war
the
room.
defense.
All
He
right,
makes that pick in the war room. Flo was not there. Why do
but
people
still,
do that?
you still recommend players to your scouting department
You can
to scout.
recommend all you want. You have to be excited when he does pick him. That's why he shouted and danced when they did pick him. That means he was not there to select him. He was excited in his home when they did. Don't do that to Flo, man. That's Greer. That's why I'm at him right now for the O line that he did not pick and secure for Tua's protection. That's why I'm on him, not Flo. I'm on him.
Ken, they got a 20-year relationship. They're not. Like,
I got
he
a
got a
question.
20-year relationship with the
Hey,
Stephen Ross.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I never really looked at it that way, and that is intriguing because I never understood why Flo was so excited about something if it was his decision anyway.
Yeah.
You feel me? Let's just keep it a buck.
I mean
But in
that's a
2020, it was
legitimate
But
second year.
perspective.
they said that Flo was trying to get more say so in the players that got picked. So we
Yeah, the
already know that he
insiders said that.
wasn't
Who have
making
insiders? Yeah, the insiders who are
Because
Nostradamus said
I
that.
think
Yeah.
Greer make all the final decisions. I
Yeah.
I mean,
think
yeah,
Flores
G,
gives his recommendation, the scouting department recommendation, and on draft day, Greer is at work and Flores watching like the rest of us, even though he knows who they've already decided to pick at the moment.
Man,
He
If
may
Flores
not
is
be happy
laughing
with
like a
all of it.
baby.
if
Flores
Flo
is
had
laughing
his
like a baby, man.
if Flo had his say, we would either had Justin Herbert or Deshaun Watson right now.
no, it's,
I guarantee you we would have had Panay. I guarantee, and he would have known you secure a tour. We couldn't get Tristan Wirfs at 14, so you go and get Cesar Ruiz. He would have known that. He would have known that. See,
Yeah.
you build with a young lineman in their 4th-year contract, and you build with this pedigree lineman with Panay and Ruiz, not these garbage Jackson and whoever the hell. You failed. You failed, Greer.
This is like an NFL problem. That's why I think GMs are like not that important to the organization as like they make it seem, because the coaches know what they need and what they want.
Yeah, but
For
GMs they do a lot more than pick players. Like they schedule, they handle all the money throughout the whole organization,
all right, get
players,
an accountant
media, and
then.
all that. I mean, that's basically what the GM is, an accountant.
But like,
all
you
right.
shouldn't be picking the players. You shouldn't be trading the players that I need or like that I want. Like, you shouldn't be
Yeah,
able to do all of that. Like, it should be up to the coaches, honestly. The
yeah,
people
but
that
that's
are
why I
there
said they
every
had a
single
power
day.
struggle. A lot of that's why they say that the GMs pick the head coach because they have to be one with the players that they want and need. And if
Yeah.
that's off, then
That's
the
like
whole
me
system is
coming
going to
to
be
my
off.
mama and saying, Mom, I can take you out because I believe that I brought you here. And she will tell you, I will take you out now because I did bring you here. Come on. Come on, man.
I
The
got a
guy
question.
who hired the coach makes the last say. He makes the last call. All Flo did was jump around like a kid and got excited with Raekwon Davis. He had no prediction in that matter.
Yeah, because they probably got a couple people lined up to where as though if one
Exactly. If
player gets
something doesn't
picked,
go right, this is the second option. Exactly. People put too much. This is why I'm saying, if you guys don't like Flo or you don't like black people, be careful. Let the court case settle itself. Because if you're making up stuff about this man, I'm gonna say take off your Dolphins hat and put on the KKK hat.
A lot
Be
of people are
careful.
sad.
What do you guys think about Josh Boyer though? You think we're gonna have the same defense as last
Yeah,
year, or
I
that was all Flo?
I think it's
yeah.
going to be the first half of the season defense.
I think it's gonna be similar, but I can't really say. Um, they brought almost everybody back but a middle linebacker. So if they
But like you
solidify the
said, they
middle,
should have got Miles Jack. They should have got Miles Jack. If they knew
Bobby
they wasn't
Wagner's
going to
still
really
out
do
there.
nothing on, yeah, but I'm pretty sure a lot of those players are waiting to see where Watson goes because they're going to take less money, especially if he goes to the NFC because the NFC is not that loaded. So all the NFC South people, I mean teams, they need a couple pieces and then they're Super Bowl contenders in that division.
main teams you got to watch out for the AFC is what Tampa since Brady's back.
Yeah, but they lost almost half their offensive line. They're not going to be the same team. Chris Godwin's probably
They
gone or
traded for
they
Shaq
resigned.
Thompson from the Patriots.
Chris
Shaq
Godwin.
Mason.
Chris
Yeah,
Godwin
Zach
is
Mason. I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, they
Yeah, I
traded.
mean,
They
but you
not
still missing.
sleeping now.
Y'all still missing another guard in the center. Did Jensen return? Like, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
they still loading
Jensen is
up, but
back.
it's like, I
Jensen
mean,
is
I
still
don't think I don't think they're going to be the same team. And I mean, Brady's getting older. He could maneuver his way throughout the league, but they wasn't a force to compete with the Rams.
All
So
right. So how do y'all rank Gesicki with all the tight ends in the league?
I think he's probably top 10.
Yeah, I had him around 8.
top
I
5.
had him around 8.
I think he better than Kyle
8.
Pitts.
No,
No.
I
No,
think Kyle Pitts is more dynamic.
Because he
He
got
got
a
a
Pro Bowl
higher
year in his
ceiling.
first
With
year.
a
I'm
much
like,
better upside on top of that.
yeah.
Exactly. Like that was his first year.
he
So
got
I
a Pro
mean,
Bowl.
And he made some dynamic catches over big
And I
exactly.
think that could be Gesicki with a better QB. I mean,
Yeah. It's not.
I don't think he has the
I think it's
speed
just
though.
the system.
no, I'm saying his catch radius is crazy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's a tight end. He's probably like what 6'4", 6'5". They all got good catch
but he
radius.
run like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Not
He
really.
run routes. Yeah.
His
His route
speed
running
is
is legit.
Him and Darren Waller are probably one step from each other.
you can't
With
compare
speed.
him to Darren Waller.
I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying as speed wise
No.
for a tight end.
No. Darren Waller runs like a 4.4. Gesicki probably runs like a 4.7, 4.8.
No, I was talking
Gesicki
about
is not
Waller
that
and
fast.
I wasn't talking about Gesicki. I was talking about Waller and whatchamacallit.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, they're probably neck and neck. You know,
No, I would
But
never.
again,
That's
I
a
mean,
different class. I ain't that delusional.
I wouldn't have spent
That
that
is.
money on Gesicki, but with them sticking with Tua, I see where they're going with it. But
Hey, when we
if
say, oh my bad.
no, go ahead.
No, when we talk about top tight ends, I have Gesicki at 8. But if I'm gonna be real 1,000 with y'all, he could be around 15th. And let me tell y'all why. When we really rank tight ends, we're just really ranking their productivity catching the ball.
Yeah.
We're not putting the actual calculation on blocking.
Blocking.
There are some tight ends in this league that catch the ball well, not as great as Gesicki because they got the wingspan and the athleticism, but they catch it very well but
And
they
block.
are excellent blockers.
Like Smythe.
And
Travis Kelce,
Like Smythe.
and,
Kittle.
holistically, but some of the guys y'all naming are just on par with Gesicki catching too. That's why they're much better. But there's some guys that's so excellent in blocking, and they may not be Gesicki in catching, even though they still catch the ball.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take it a step further. What's our other tight end that caught just as much as Gesicki last year?
Smythe
is not a Gesicki catching the ball, but you see the production he put up last year? There's guys that can catch the ball like Smythe and produce, but they're excellent blockers that give them the edge over Gesicki. But we'll never do that because we really, truly only judge tight ends on their production from yards and stuff like that.
TD.
So, yeah.
You think that we drafted a tight end last year? We've been bringing in tight ends almost every year since Gesicki's been here. You think we've been doing that because the front office and the coaches know that like he not really that dude?
No, it's not easy to find.
Somebody trying to call me, so I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna log out and come back in.
All right, it's not easy to find a tight end with that skill set that Gesicki has. We've been drafting tight ends for two reasons. Miami had a plan, and this is what I keep explaining to y'all. And unfortunately, that plan's been altered by many of their failed pursuits, okay? They drafted a tight end because they were hoping he could come in and produce to a level where it would be easier to move on from Gesicki. They drafted Noah Igbenogany hoping that he could come in and make it easier to move on from Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
Because you have to do that, because if you strike gold and it works, look at how much money you're saving not having to give Mike Gesicki or Xavier Howard a new deal. You have to draft their replacement. If it works out, you move on from the greater player and take the rookie contract. If it doesn't work out, you're stuck re-ing up a top-paid player's contract. Every team does that.
True. That's why we were able to move on from.
That's why the Patriots have been so good. They'll do that at every position. They might not hit on all of them, but they might hit on one or two.
That's why I think J.C. Jackson is not going to be that good at the Chargers. He's not.
He may be great, bro, but they already probably feel they got a backup who's going to be the next great. Have you seen that every year for the last 10 years, it feels like they have a top corner?
Right. Stephon Gilmore struggled at the Panthers. Yeah. No one's talking about that. That's why he hasn't been signed yet. Like, he struggled.
So maybe they also can develop him. Don't forget that too.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll take a hit on flow if we digress in that secondary. That's where we can see everybody talk about the improvements they expected, but there are some reasons to believe there may be some decline throughout the roster as well.
That's what I'm worried about.
That's not the case.
Because our head coach is not a defensive coach at all. So that's what's scaring me. Like, everyone was expecting our defense to be the same. I'm just like, I don't know.
There ain't many offensive coaches that got a great defense.
Yep.
You need like many, man.
Only the Rams, honestly. Only the Rams. And that's because they have a historic great.
What I find interesting.
Sometimes you buy a great defense.
Yeah.
What I find.
I don't give coaches credit for buying something. So you got 8 solidified players on your roster that nobody will question as top 5. No, I'm sorry. Don't. I can't say that you're a great coach because you winning games.
Do you think that's like the NFL's turning into the NBA because of that though? Like you need a bunch of great players.
That's what it seemed like, right?
Yeah.
They're in the win now mode.
I mean, the Bengals got there, but they built their team.
I think that's what the Chargers did.
I don't think you need a bunch of great players at this point. I think you need great players at specific positions.
Yeah.
What I think happens though, TD, what I think happens though is, and we all kind of know this already, is when you win, especially when you win that first wild card game, you all of a sudden get Pro Bowlers. Yeah, you know what I mean? That kind of way. And what I think, what is interesting is what Joe Shad said, to go on to something else. Um, he said that with Flo, this team ranked in the top five in least penalties all of his years. And so now we got Connor Williams, whose problem is
That is a
penalties.
fact. That is
And
a fact.
so
I will
I would
say he
like
had
to
him
see,
disciplined.
and I would like to see, like Joe Shad said, the transition from being a disciplined team who doesn't beat yourself, you punt, we kick the ball, and we make you make mistakes. That's how we won games. We weren't a good team. We made other people make mistakes, and we beat them. And I wonder if that's going to continue.
We're gonna have to come up with a list one day, y'all. We're gonna have to do a show real soon, probably in 2 weeks. And I hope y'all keep reminding me because I'm driving right now. Or one of y'all can go to Instagram and hit me up and put this in there so I'll remember. We need to make a show where we all sit down and make a list of things so that we could truly judge this season. And when I say make a list of things, we need to have like what you just said, Sharif, on the list. We were top 5 in penalties. Did this team maintain discipline? Have a whole list of where we were, where we went, so we could help ourselves evaluate this team when it's
I'm,
all said and done this year.
I'm just
So,
worried about. Sorry, T.
Yes,
no,
sir.
go ahead.
I'm just worried about like in all his interviews, he's coming off as like Mike McDaniel's coming off as this cool coach that's going to be a player coach. But how much respect is he going to get from grown ass men? With like problems and like how much respect is this coach is going to get from them?
I've had that conversation with many people in this community, and trust me, this is a huge concern. I'm talking about backstage, most writers, bloggers, YouTubers. This is something everybody has talked about because we don't know how he's going to be when a player challenges him. And y'all know what I'm saying when things get down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
When a player feels like they don't want to run it that way and this is not the way we should be doing things. How are you going to handle that? And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he'll figure it out. But a lot of people are concerned about that because and sometimes it's just a feeling. You don't feel like he's that moxie guy because there's times in football you got to get up in somebody.
Yeah, definitely.
You gotta let your expectations be known. And not in a way of, here are my expectations, and you didn't do my expectation today. No, you got to make them feel that you ain't playing. And there's different ways to lead, but this is 2022. These players are worse than they used to be. Yeah. They'll curse a coach out. They will curse her that, man, I got a 5-year, $100 million contract, $60 million guaranteed. This is day 2. I ain't even started yet. Who are you? Will curse a coach out.
Yeah, let's go.
Coordinators get cursed out every day in the NFL. And not like coordinators, but position coaches. When that position coach bring it to your attention and you bring that player in the office and you trying to help that player understand he got to respect this coach, and he look at you and say, man, I don't respect him for whatever reason, what you gonna do? That's what and people don't understand. These things happen. It don't happen to all the guys who need the money. And thankfully for Miami, we always bring in people who need the money. But players get like this, man. They get like this. So
even at the youth level, I coach youth football, and it's kind of like if you don't have if the kids can tell right away if they're gonna respect you or not. So grown men that's making millions of dollars, they can tell right away if I'm gonna listen to the coach telling me to run this fucking slant across the middle, but I've been getting banged up this whole time and he's not looking. So I'm not just gonna listen to him. I feel like the team listened to Coach Flo. Like they followed his lead, like through everything last year.
And
If
I
you
find it
if you start
interesting.
out
Scared that like
if you start out 1-7 like we did,
yeah,
everybody gives Flo credit for keeping them together. Am I wrong?
they do.
Yes.
Even the players, they've come out, and even when Flo was fired, you heard people say, "Man, we were down in the dirt. You kept us together, and we came back."
Even
They
on
give him
Brandon
that
Marshall's
credit.
show, that
Can
the
he do?
Brandon Marshall said that Flo. One thing I could say, several players came to me and they said, "Man, after y'all start winning 7 in a row, man, I respect that guy." And they even in the 2020 season, Brandon
And
Marshall
said
said players.
he was the one. He was the one who kept them together. Does
Yeah.
Mike have that in them when the players going crazy in that locker room about being 1-7? And this year is going to be a lot of tension if we start out rough, because some
Yeah.
guys know this is the end of them. Every one of them O linemen know that if we struggle this year, it's the end of you.
And
Tua
we
knows if
know,
he struggles this year,
and
that's it.
TD, we know for a fact that it wasn't Landon Roberts who said Tool will end my career.
Mm.
Because they brought him back. So whoever said that, they're gone.
And you don't think the church gonna get louder on the defense about wasting my career? It'll get
Yeah.
louder. I'm
I,
telling you, they gotta win. Win will fix everything, even in this community. We gotta
my,
win games, man. They better put
Listen,
a
man.
winning formula together.
my best guess is X.
Sam Madison ain't even gonna let you waste his career. I'm telling you, Sam Madison gonna go into a face.
This is why Miami
Man,
will always be a basketball town.
Yeah.
That's sad
get out
because
of
it's
here.
a football city.
Ain't nobody talking about no Heat.
That's
I'm
sad because
sorry.
it's a
Come on,
football
TD.
city.
I gotta say it.
Uh, nah, I just be teasing people
You
about the
know
Heat,
it. If
man.
Eric Spoelstra was coaching the Heat, we'll be good.
The Dolphins, you mean?
I mean the Dolphins, yeah, the Dolphins. We'll be good.
They'll kick us out the NFL if Eric Spoelstra was coaching. Now, if you would have said Pat Riley, that's a different story.
Maybe we
Pat
need to see
Riley will
what
bring
he's
us
doing
Super
on that
Bowl.
GM level, president level. What he trying to do?
Wow. And then you see we brought one of their buddies today from the San Francisco 49ers. We got a receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name?
I
I don't
noticed
know
we
the
got two
contract.
tall
I don't know the
receivers too.
contract deep. I don't know the contract details though. And then on top of it, all these guys ain't making the roster. Somebody ain't got no guaranteed money because ain't there like eight receivers now?
Right. They haven't cut anyone yet. We haven't cut anyone yet.
No, we haven't.
But what I like about this, and this is interesting, this may say a lot about DVP. The two receivers who they got, 6'1", Cedric Wilson, speedster, right? They're saying he's faster than Fuller, right? And then the 6'2", the guy he just picked up from San Francisco.
Yeah,
So
the
to
Trent
me,
Sherfield.
you already got your possession receiver. Bye bye DVP or restructure.
No.
I don't know.
Hold on. Go pull up the guy from San Francisco and go ahead and tell me how many games he played, how many games he started. Somebody please do that for me because I'm driving. And
Wait,
then
what's his
tell
name?
me how many targets, how many receptions, what's the completion percentage, how many
I'm on it.
yards. Please give me these numbers. Oh, and can we keep on talking about bye-bye DVP? Okay. I'm going to get what y'all
No,
asked
no,
for.
no. Vontae, that's my dude right there. When he on the field,
At
he
least I
Man,
performs.
know he
Every
going to
time
give
he
me
on
I,
the field, he performs. It's not like
at
at
he
his
just
least I
disappeared.
Y'all talking about
at
the river
least
dude?
at least I know that DVP gonna get me that 50-50 ball
Yeah,
55% of the time.
yes,
it's Tua
And
all
Tua
the
need.
needs
time.
that.
Tua need that.
Imagine, I
Yeah,
want y'all to do something. Imagine if Parker wasn't bringing them 50-50 balls down. Oh my God. Could you imagine Tua's numbers?
Terrible.
Could you
yeah.
Yeah.
imagine the production if we took away the 50-50s? Man, y'all better stop talking about
And he
taking them
learned that
away.
from Fitz. He got that from
Oh,
Fitz,
we
just
need
throwing it up over
those.
there
Oh yeah.
to
Yes.
DVP. He learned that from
That's
Fitz.
that's majority of our big plays.
Sherfield was only targeted 20 times last season.
How many games did he play?
He played all 17 and he only started
How many
one.
started? Okay, so we got a third, fourth string. Oh no, a fourth string, fifth string guy, and he was targeted how many times?
Targeted 20 times, 9
How much
receptions.
you paid him?
9 receptions, not even 50% reception.
87
How many
yards.
yards?
So that's a camp body. Yeah.
87 yards. Yeah, man. No, he didn't get no money, man. I mean, they brought their guy in that they knew from San Francisco, and they giving them a chance to compete, hooking them up because they got a good relationship and they like this
And
one word.
he can teach
That's
the
what these
guys
are.
how the system is as well. He can teach the other guys how to
He
block.
can lead by
That's what they're
example when
using him for.
Welker gives instruction.
Mhm.
So, man, I don't know how long you've been in the league, but what they may be able to practice squad designate him.
Well, he's been in the league about what, 3 years?
They got the rights to him. They got the rights to him.
Yeah,
Guys,
so,
are we keeping all our running backs?
With
as of right
Gaskins,
now,
Ahmed.
I think they're going to draft a running back and they're going to draft a linebacker. That's
It don't
what
seem
I
like
think.
we drafting a running back
if
this
they
year.
draft a running back, it's another fail because you got Dokes last year.
And that's 5 running backs. You got 5 of
You're
them.
basically admitting another fail. Wait, and don't get me wrong, Jerry Dokes was the
He was a
7th
late round draft. I didn't expect him to be something big because he was a late round draft pick. So I completely threw that out the window. It's between if you draft a running back between 1st and 3rd, then maybe anything but behind 3rd, you have a potential, but not promise.
But that means that means we miss out on Bryce Hall.
It also speaks to your ability to develop someone.
True.
But watch this. You mean to tell me if we were begging for a big back because time is week 5 last year and Dokes didn't crack that lineup, he isn't good enough.
Yeah.
Because we were looking for a big back and he's big. 232, 6'1".
So I think we got 4. I think we have 4 backs right now because Lindsey and Duke, they didn't resign. Is it 3 or 4 backs?
They're saying Duke is coming back though.
Gaskin, Ahmed, and Dokes, and the new people we got. So that's 5.
Yeah, well, Dokes is on there.
When was our last 1,000-yard rusher?
Jay Ajayi. That was the last time we had a good offensive line, by the way. See, which goes back to Greer. Greer, if you see you're going to get young offensive linemen, and 5 of them, at least make sure they're pedigree, for God's sake. You still could have get Rondell Moore. Yeah. You still could have get Rondell Moore. But you would have had Cesar Ruiz and Panay. See, we always have to come right back to this. We always have to come right back to this. You know, and that's why I wanted
the reality is we have drafted pretty poor. We just look at how well we did last year and just let that be the end all be.
But last year was more flow, right?
In that first round.
In the first round?
Because you got our studs. I mean, you got Waddle. Who else did we get? Did we get
Phillips?
Jalen
Phillips, and he's coming on. And then we got Javon Holland.
And so you still would have been able to get all of these, the tackle, Panay, and Ruiz, and you would have kept everything you have, except Waddle.
I think we could have got Phillips lower. I feel like we could have got him lower.
No, I wouldn't have played with that. I wouldn't have. No. I wouldn't.
He was the top pass rusher on the board. So.
I wouldn't have never played with that. I would have picked him up at 18.
They did it right. I didn't even think he would be.
I think Mitch Parson was in the top pass rusher.
Nah, I think everybody had Jalen Phillips up there.
Yeah.
No, everybody was wrong.
And listen, the reason why this man didn't touch double-digit sacks is because they double-teamed him by time is week 14. That's when he was ripping up the league, 2 sacks a game.
And don't forget the first 7-8 games, they barely played him.
Right. He was drifting, playing adjacent to
linebacker.
Right.
Yeah, like 25% of the snaps or something like that.
So now imagine, right? When we play the standing 7 and everyone knows their role, this is why I believe we have to get a crazy defensive end, I believe. Either in the late rounds, but I believe we need somewhat of a blitzer, a defensive end in the late round, because I think there's a guy out there who's crazy, man. And what we do need is when if JP has to come off the field, and Ogba has to come off the field. We need a guy. This is why I tell people too in the last streams. Curtis Weaver. This was his position to take over Ogba's role, but he couldn't even make the team.
Did he get that foot injury? Like he injured
I
his
don't
foot?
remember. I don't remember what his injury was. But I will say this, man. I got to push back on y'all about the D line. Our D line is not as good as people think. We're just fans and we love them and we feel like they're great. And they did produce, but don't forget,
with a scheme.
We don't know. We don't know how good they are until they just run a basic 4-man rush.
Yeah. And you can't get no pressure.
We put 7 guys at the line of scrimmage against 5 and had every O-line we played when we was on that winning streak. Like, I don't know who I got. Do you know how many times a nose tackle backed up in the coverage? We confused the heck out of O-lines. That's why we were successful.
Yes.
And when you also do that, you're going to guarantee one-on-ones for guys like Ogba and Phillips.
Which is why if Ogba had walked, I wouldn't have mind.
We don't have a traditional pass rush like y'all think. And at some point, you're going to have to show a traditional pass rush.
Yes.
Unless you're going to run a zero, unless you're going to run that look all the time. But some teams are going to burn you on that look.
And Team TD, you're exactly right. Because when you watch the All-22, if you subscribe to the All-22, you get to see when the Dolphins only rush 4 and we have absolutely no pressure. Watch all the games.
And then go look when we look like we're going to rush 7, but we rush 4. 1 or 2 guys always get a head start in an angle on the offensive lineman because the lineman had to hesitate to see which one was coming. That's the way that scheme is designed. That's why they like Jalen Phillips, because he's mobile enough to drop in coverage fast. Yeah, right. Go ahead.
Hey TD, you remember you were saying like we should have zero blitz Tannehill last year?
Yeah.
And the one time we did, he threw for like a 40-yard touchdown, I think.
Yeah, but remember at the beginning, no, I didn't say we needed to zero Tannehill.
No, you said we didn't need to.
Yeah, everybody when we went in that Tennessee game said, "Oh, we gonna murder Tannehill.
Yeah.
All you got to do is zero blitz him." I said that's the one man you bet not zero.
As soon as we did it,
as soon as we did it twice to him and he stuck us with it.
He audible.
The only reason, he did. That's why I knew he know how to handle it pre-snap. He can identify it and basically communicate to AJ Brown what we gonna do, and he gonna take that shot. Tannehill's never been scared to take that shot. You got AJ Brown? No, come on, zero me. I'm a AJ Brown. You know what to do. Let's go. Man, you will be better off getting the organic pressure on him and having him hold the ball too long and sack him. But don't dare him with blitzes. He bad enough on a regular rush. Just do that and cover. But if you give him one-on-ones, that's when he's best in the league. He's best whenever you got one-on-ones, because he's gonna place the ball for a receiver on the inside right where it needs to be. He gonna float it up right where it needs to be.
Yeah, he's good at that.
He gonna get it there quick.
You know what I noticed with Tannehill, TD? On those old cuts, on those square ends, those 20-yard square ends, nobody's better in the NFL.
Yes.
Nobody.
Well, isn't that where that first pick came in the AFC game? The first pick was one of those box ends, but it's only because I personally feel like because that was that scripted drive, and he did get the look. He did get the look he wanted, but the safety just
came and robbed him.
I'm gonna come underneath, and if I'm wrong, we gonna get beat. But if I'm right, I'm gonna eat. And he was right. It was a guess by the safety. I mean, AJ Brown was Julio was full speed. The safety, common knowledge, you're supposed to start backpedaling because he already had his man. But that safety stayed put and went for the underneath before the ball was even thrown and got picked off. That was a great defensive play, and that's a scouting play, knowing that they love to run those.
Are y'all betting on Tua to play the whole season?
What happened?
Are y'all betting on Tua to play the whole season?
No, that's why we got
I think he probably gonna get pulled.
I can't bet that he'll play the whole season. I'm hoping that he does. Unfortunately, I don't see that in the forecast.
When they picked up Teddy,
but I'm hoping that he does. It's just
I can see him missing one or two
I fear
games.
the most about Tua. I fear the injury that ain't even because of contact. That's what I fear.
No,
y'all remember when Teddy Hill got hurt? And y'all remember when Teddy Hill got hurt and he healed? How in that camp or something he got hurt again?
Yep, I remember that play. He ran to the sideline and he ran out of bounds and blew his knee.
Yep. Those are the injuries that I fear. You know, I just that's what I don't want to ever happen. And I want Tua to have a full season where he gets to play all games so we can get a finished product finally. And we can really truly say, okay, now we get to have an even more fair evaluation. Because anybody can admit Tua deserves an evaluation now, but it's also not complete. It's not complete. But at some point, if it's due to injuries, we'll never get completion, and that ain't our responsibility at some point. If he
now you
see why I'm saying.
Now you see why I'm saying no. Now you see why I'm saying if it's incomplete, then Greer is gonna say, let's get some more linemen. This is Tua's fifth year. We're gonna move into the fifth year option. Mm-hmm.
That's why I warned people earlier, do not write off the fact that he definitely can see 4 or 5 years. And this could be a Tannehill situation all over again. Or
I can't do this for 4 or 5 more years.
Hey man, I'm just keeping it a buck because why?
That's why I said
TD just said it. If he gets hurt and it's not complete, then it's incomplete. Just like Tannehill.
The eye
it's
test
an incomplete evaluation.
That's why I said that I'm mad right now because I don't have a problem with Tua having an opportunity to be the guy. I have an opportunity with us not putting everything around him so that we can know if he's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the frustration. Now, if he balls out even with an incomplete, then yeah, that's great. Then we are more solidified on feeling great about him being the guy.
And what does that mean?
There's still room for, well, he didn't have this, or, well, we got that guy, but he didn't pan out to be good. He was just as trash.
And TD.
And you know what? You just made a good point, TD, because I was thinking, like, well, if they look at this offseason, they're going to say, if he doesn't do good, well, they got him on lineman, but they didn't get him, they could have did better.
Well, then that's square.
Money, you know what I'm saying?
That's square.
See, let me say this. Now watch. If our receiving core struggles, mark my words, y'all, a year from now, what they saying. They're going to be saying,
flow.
Well, they didn't get any receivers with get separation, right? But right now they're raving about the Dallas Cowboys receiver that we brought in saying, oh, he's number 3 in the NFL with separation. I said, look at the freaking sample size. Why do y'all always do that? Y'all will take somebody who's at the top of the charts who have a small sample size and think that's the gospel. And most of the time he's playing against his own. How does he perform against raw man when he's a vocal point? So next year, if he don't get as much separation, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Can I say something too?
Yeah.
Not touching that, but on just thinking, do y'all know everybody else in the AFC is trying to get so much better than the moves that we're making? Like the Texans, where they're going to get back for Deshaun Watson. The Jets got 2 top picks in the top 10, not including their second round picks and stuff like that, and they're trying to get better. The Jaguars are trying to get better, and they got top picks. Like it's going to be tough for them to shine in the AFC.
All the Dolphins trying to do is edit their scheme.
You have to make you have to make a fair comparison. You got to compare team to team. And I don't understand these people that be like, man, don't compare your team with other teams. Just focus on what you're doing and do it the best. What? When did that's like going to a NASCAR race, right? You entered into a NASCAR race and you got your freaking Hyundai Elantra. Well, don't worry about they NASCARs. We just got to tune our Elantra the best way it could be, and focus on our Elantra.
And we barely beat those teams.
Like, what's wrong with these people? Why do people say that? Just focus on what you're trying to do, and if you do it best, I promise you'll compete. Stop that lying narrative. You gotta be able to match talent sometimes too, because we automatically act like, well, our coaching is gonna make the difference. Oh, so the 10 teams we're competing against, they got trash coaches, right? Like we automatically just gotta bank on ours to be the best. Like this stuff is unrealistic. So compare yourself to teams. Buffalo had the #1 defense. So even if you end up better than them, they ain't losing much. They're going to be just as good potentially, and they got better with Von Miller. And their
just pick up Jordan Phillips.
Zach Wilson got better. Mac Jones is getting better.
And I don't care if we could run the ball. Does it look like our offense is going to be more potent than theirs?
And now we need 2 tackles.
The Patriots the Patriots is going to get some receivers, especially in this draft, probably.
I don't doubt that.
I'm not worried about the Patriots this year.
Why aren't you? You got to play them twice a year. We barely beat them
I know.
last year.
I just think they got worse than they got better than last year. They got worse.
You think
I think they got worse this year.
How do you think they got worse?
They lost most of their offensive linemen, so he's not going to have the same protection. The Patriots.
You think they're not going to address that in the draft? And you don't think that Mac Jones already knows the protections and the schemes?
Well, remember,
let me tell you something.
Patriots were the front runner for Collins too. Everybody go sign Collins. At least there was actually a report that they were the front runner.
They're probably trying to get younger.
Our report was we made a call about them.
One thing you guys got to realize, right? And this is going to come to a head 2 to 3 years down the road. But I'm telling you it now. If you don't have a quarterback, Belichick does not win. End of story. I want to also mention that Tua got to do something in spite of, because we were talking about things that he does not have around him so we can evaluate him properly. If he can do what Burrow does, and he can do what Aaron Rodgers does. Aaron Rodgers gets sacked a lot too. People can win in spite of the bad line, and this is what Greer is probably banking on. Yes, we have Austin Jackson. Yes, we have Eichenberg.
One of the better teams. We're one of the better teams.
Yeah, but if we don't got the better quarterback, none of that matters.
So the thing about it is, right? Greer is banking that, look, Tua, you can win in spite of this line. And if that's what he's banking on, then he's putting his job on that. And so because Tua's basically got to carry us to the first round, second round, in spite of this line.
No. Let me paint the picture. Chris Greer is a shrewd operator. That's why he has survived this long. Chris Greer has already passed the blame off. Did you not hear what he said when he shut the door on Watson?
I think.
Oh, he passed the blame off on Flo.
He said the coaches.
He talked about the new coaches. He already put them with accountability.
Oh no!
Yeah. He said we closed the door on Deshaun Watson. The coaches, the coach and the coaching staff have mulled over a lot of film, and they feel they can win and build a team around Tua.
He kept saying,
"I've seen that too. I peeped that too."
He already passed the buck. He said,
so he'll probably stay here. If they fail, he'll probably stay here.
Chris Greer, boy, he know. That's why Chris Greer is probably like, all right, come on in this offense. What you need? Oh, you want mustard? Yep, got you. What else? Oh, got you. I got this coach everything he needed, Ross. And Greer is going to escape yet another regime. Mark my words. If this fails, Greer will escape another regime. I got this man everything you wanted.
So do you think McDaniels won it done?
Baker Mayfield just requested a trade.
No.
Really?
I don't think so.
He sucks anyway. They can do better than Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Let me ask y'all a question, though. Baker Mayfield does suck, but who's the better quarterback?
Oh, gosh.
I honestly don't know.
I mean,
who's the better quarterback?
Like, both of them are fragile.
Tua.
Baker,
look,
Baker. Hold on. Do not think about upside. Just straight up.
Baker's
right now, what you've gotten, Straight up.
He makes TD. He makes dumb mistakes.
Yeah,
Baker went toe to toe. Baker went toe to toe.
I'll take Baker over
Tua. He went toe to toe.
Nah, man, he makes too much dumb mistakes late in games.
Tua's never put up 50
I like
points in
him
his life.
I make the throw more than I like Tua to make the throw. Especially downfield.
Tua's beat Belichick, 3 times now?
The defense,
he's beaten Justin Herbert. He's beaten Kyler Murray. He's 1-1. Like,
I think that's unfair to say that he beat him. The defense
he did. That Arizona game, that was all Tua.
He scored 14, and the defense holds them to 0. The defense won you the game.
And won the game.
How can if you run two?
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want y'all to argue and get heated or nothing because we having a great conversation.
No, that's just how I talk. Sorry.
No, not you, not none of y'all. I just want to make sure we don't get there. But let me just give my take on what I asked y'all, which I should have just gave my take first and then let y'all go. Let's be honest. Baker is a better quarterback right now than Tua, but anybody in their right mind would rather bank on Tua's upside than what Baker is. That's the truth. Baker has already accomplished more. Okay, now let me ask you this question: when Baker and them went to the playoffs, was their team better than the team we have now?
100%.
Their defense was better than our defense?
I mean,
you said that
they had a better pass rush.
All they had was a running game. Remember the story in Cleveland all these years, we ain't got no weapon, no wide receivers for him. So they went and got Beckham and Landry because they never had the receivers, did they?
And they drafted a receiver. He was low, but he had 4.2 speed.
Remember, he's just like the situation we're hoping not to be. Well, we ain't got the receivers. Well, this year the O-linemen were hurt, even though they usually the best in the league. We got Chubb, but he didn't play as well this year. His 900 yards was good, but it wasn't enough.
And they got Kareem Hunt.
It was always something, though. It was always something. And this man, the one thing he didn't have early on was consistent real receiver threats. That's why they went and got Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, because that was the last straw for what they say they needed. But you still got the same Baker, but he still put up yards and stuff, did he not?
He did, but
when Baker put up yards, his completion percentage was an issue at times.
Yeah, because sometimes he doesn't make the throw.
Then he kept playing through injuries. So where's Baker gonna end up? You think this is the move that the coach go make?
Yeah, probably.
Who's a sleeper team that needs a quarterback? Don't be surprised. I would say
quarterback.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. You ain't gotta like Baker, but with them seven Pro Bowlers in on the Colts, led by the run game.
Yeah.
Better be
the
careful.
AFC South is weak.
That team with the coach with a Baker Mayfield,
they look nice.
He's better than Carson Wentz
easily.
I think he's better than Carson Wentz.
They can go to the playoffs easily to me.
A healthy Baker Mayfield, yeah.
I wish Miami would do what the Colts are doing, because they obviously saw he couldn't get the job done. They should have made the playoffs, and he whiffed it the last game against the Jags when he could have stepped up and showed everybody. So they after 1 year, after spending a first-round draft pick on him, after 1 year, they cut him. You can't get it done, so we got to get somebody that can get it done.
And let me say this about Baker Mayfield, too. He goes to the Colts. If he go to the Colts and he ain't even on a new deal yet, and they got $70 million, I'm telling y'all, they could actually make some noise this year, as long as he don't kill them. You know what I mean? But it'll be interesting.
I don't make the mistakes that Winston makes. I mean, not Winston, Wentz makes. I don't think Baker Mayfield is going to make the mistakes that Wentz makes.
And Baker Mayfield, I don't think he's going to cost as much. I mean, how much is he making now?
He's still in a rookie contract.
15, 20.
You see what
Whatever
I'm
the
saying?
contract.
And how much was Wentz making?
Probably 30 or
20.
40.
You know, Wentz was making at least 20 mil.
I thought it was
I
like
think it was like
27 or something.
I thought it was
I think
Maybe
it was
I'm
28.
around
wrong.
30.
Because when they traded him to Washington, they said they take on the full contract. Because that was
Yeah,
one
but
of the
they
biggest things about it. He was
traded him
up there by 20 mil.
before the league year.
Yeah, I don't remember the details. But Baker, man, if I told y'all this was gonna be the year that the most quarterbacks move, and I am shocked that we're doing what we're doing, but it is what it is, man. I just feel like I didn't want Watson to stay in the AFC because if he would have came to the AFC, I feel like we were guaranteed to not make it. But something is Baker going to the Colts alone, and they got all that money. Oh man,
The Browns might get Jimmy
man.
G.
That too.
So
We didn't even talk about where Jimmy
Yeah,
G
that's
gonna end
true.
up.
Hey,
So that's
TD,
two
let
more
me ask you a
teams that got
question real
better.
quick.
Go ahead.
Do you think Tua's confidence is still not?
I don't think I think that's everybody else giving him that excuse. I don't think he had a confidence issue. I just think that he underperformed.
Yeah, I think
I think
he
everybody
wasn't able
kept
to.
saying confidence, and I give them the benefit of the doubt. Anybody I talk to, I give them the benefit of the doubt with the confidence argument. I don't even
But hold
argue
on.
with people about confidence, but my true
see.
feelings, I don't even think it
But
was a confidence thing.
why do we think that Tua can be so great? Is it because the reporters said that when he was coming out of Alabama when he had a star-studded offense and defense? Is that why they
It's the
think
Drew
Tua is going to
Brees
be so pro-ready and great?
comparison.
When he went down with the hip, I was like, I don't know anymore. I'll be honest. When he went down with the hip, I was like, I'm really unsure now.
But he might be shining in Alabama, but you're not playing not pros, but you're not playing the best of the best every week. You're playing against probably Louisiana or Louisiana Tech or some team that's down in the South, and you're putting up numbers on average or below average teams. You're not putting up
People that's
numbers
not your
against the
defense,
best.
basically. People that's not your defense, because Alabama got one of the top defenses. So that's like your scouting. So you play other teams, they're just below the bar of what you scout against your own defense. So
you might look good.
All right, so who's
even with that, the quarterbacks that came before him wasn't as accurate or efficient as he was. So everyone kind of like jumped on that. They're like, even with his defense, he's like his accuracy and his efficiency was through the roof.
Allen Robinson signed with the Rams.
Wow.
Of course he did.
The rich get richer.
Oh man.
I mean, they in the NFC. That's the least of y'all problems.
Well, y'all also have to understand they're in a window. They went for broke, which means it only lasts about 3 years to afford everybody. So you gotta keep on re-ing up.
Keep on probably
trying
took less
to get
money.
you Super Bowls.
He took a 3-year deal. It doesn't say the money, but he took a 3-year deal with the Rams.
It's a 3-year.
So actually, it's a 3-year 46.5. My bad.
With
30.7 guaranteed.
So that means he's gonna get paid for 2 years, and then they're gonna restructure and extend after that.
Or cut him,
or he'll move on after that and go make some more money. But they going for broke. That team that just won the Super Bowl, that team just got better. And Cooper Kupp.
Odell.
And Cooper Kupp.
Odell is a free agent.
Yeah, I know, but he's talking about signing. I think he'll take less money to win again.
And Cooper Kupp is still there?
Yes.
I mean, come on. Tell me who got a better
Odell not coming back.
Tell me who got a better receiving.
But it's LA. Who doesn't want to come to LA? LA is like Miami. You just need the quarterback.
LA is where he wants to be too.
Who got a better receiving core than them?
Nobody.
That's
not with Robert Woods, and if Odell signed again, nobody.
So when
you got Stafford, that's going to sling the rock.
When you got elite talent at the quarterback position, that's how you do it. You never do that if you don't, unless you're the Dolphins, so that you can find out, because you don't know how to determine without it. That's the sad part for me. That's what frustrates me with the Dolphins. They can't evaluate a player without it. I don't care if you got everything or you don't have everything. You can watch film and look at intangibles to know if somebody got it or not.
And that's why I'm even more frustrated. They act like just like Flores said, we don't need to see Josh Rosen on the field. We got an evaluation from him.
Exactly.
Film alone can give you your evaluation. It's
but
ridiculous to me.
That's what makes me mad, because it's like everybody wants to put everything around Tua instead of getting a quarterback that doesn't need everything around him.
So you
can't recreate Alabama. You cannot do that in the NFL. I'm sorry. It's not possible.
Led the league in passing with nothing around him, barely.
So we played the Chargers this year, right? We played the Chargers.
Yeah, we played the Chargers and the Bengals.
The Bengals signed Hayden Hurst.
You remember we played them Tua's rookie year, and people was talking all that crap about Tua beating Herbert and stuff like that.
I forgot we played him my rookie year.
Yeah, it's gonna come back full circle.
It's gonna come back full circle.
Oh yeah.
Are you sure we played him that rookie year?
Yeah,
they did.
We won.
Yep. Defense won.
It's gonna come back full circle.
I didn't even remember we played them. That rookie. It must have been early in the season.
No, I think it was later.
No, it was Tua's second start. The Chargers was Tua's second start, I think.
Was it? It was after Arizona. No, it was his third or fourth start.
Yeah, it was after Arizona.
I don't know why I don't remember that game. I have no clue why I don't remember.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's gonna come back full circle, definitely.
I don't know. I think I'm not like that's why I'm not super like on like, oh, we need to get off of Tua, because I'm just like, Herbert ain't make the playoffs either, and look how much everyone talking about him. But like his team
Herbert didn't make the playoffs because
do you know why everybody? Do you know why everybody talk about Herbert?
But like, all right, but like, would Tom Brady be in that situation where the coach has to make a call? It's kind of just like Aaron Rodgers. Why are you in that situation? Yeah. Why you need to be where the coach need to make a call? Like that's why everyone is starting to move off of Aaron Rodgers being like as great as he is because like you like every year you in a certain situation and we able to blame someone else for it. Like now it's kind of like I don't see it.
Well, I'll say this. This is the thing. I think people need to understand it don't matter if a young quarterback make the playoffs or miss it. It's really just about their evaluation and how they perform on the field. And I always say this when people compare Herbert, Tua, Burrow, and all of that. All rookies,
5,000 yards.
All rookies.
But he got the same amount of wins as Tua.
Hold on, but why do you keep saying wins and losses?
So they just as good.
QB stat. Yeah, that's like I mean, why do you say wins and losses are a QB stat though, bro?
That's why they have stats, not scores.
So he said Tua is like the same as Herbert because they won the same amount of games.
I'm not saying that they're the same. Herbert is definitely a better quarterback at this time. But I'm just saying when it comes to winning football games, like
he's in a better division.
But a quarterback ain't the only factor in that. It's the team as a whole when it comes to wins and losses. That's it.
Chiefs twice a year.
Okay, so like why are we killing Tua? Like, why are we killing Tua if we're not going to kill Justin Herbert the same way?
No, because Herbert was putting up 30 points a game and his defense was giving up 35. If we were putting
our defense is the same exact thing. Our defense in big games, our defense give up a lot of points. In big games, our defense is giving up a lot of points. So I'm just like, how are we going to kill Tua for the same thing we're trying to kill? Like, we're not going to kill Justin Herbert for.
No, bro.
Because he put up 360 yards passing and he threw 4 touchdowns, then he's better. That don't mean that, man.
No,
it does.
When
time he plays.
Hold on, Gigi. Hold on, bro. I think you're missing the overall point in what we're making. Everybody's going to have a bad game. But when you look at the Dolphins' averages, you'll probably find that we probably only gave up 23, 22 points a game. The Chargers were giving up in the 30s, bro. And what I'm trying to tell you is this. If the Chargers were giving up 22 points a game, they would have probably won 14 games. They average up there with the top of the NFL in points per game.
He also got to
You have to look at it as a holistic, not just a few games that Herbert played bad, a few games that our defense also played bad. Their defense stunk all season.
Also, TD, listen, he doesn't realize that he has to go up against Patrick Mahomes twice a year, Derek Carr twice a year, and then the Broncos as a whole. They was just missing a quarterback. They had a great defense and they could run the ball, and that's all they did when they played the Chargers was run the ball down the throat all game. Like, come on, bro, it's way different. The AFC West is not the AFC East. He's playing against better competition.
Is he really though? Is he like you're saying that? But like his defense had Joey Bosa. He had Melvin Ingram for like most of that year before they traded him to Kansas City. He had Derwin the whole year. Like he had a good defense. Like,
bro, you probably can't name. No. You probably can't name more than 4 good players. Now we can go down the list on the Dolphins.
All right, I can't name more than 4 good. I'm just saying though, like we only have 4 good players on our defense. I'm just saying, like our defense played a certain way. Yeah, but like we're gonna like kill Tua for the same thing that Justin Herbert's not been able to do.
We only have 4 good players. Do you know that Tua's rookie year, both of our safeties were top 5 in the position? Do you know that Xavier Howard and Byron Jones?
What 4th game of the season?
What happened?
He didn't play until the 4th game of the season. We're what 1-3?
Regardless, bro. All I'm saying is our defense was way better than the Chargers.
Listen, this is a fact. If Justin Herbert puts up 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he doesn't win the game, that's fine. Your quarterback's playing. If Tua throws 150 or 200 yards and 1 touchdown, he's not making a difference in winning.
But when did he make that touchdown pass? When did he throw that touchdown pass? That's what I'm saying. Like Tua is one of those quarterbacks that like win games when he needs to. Like he's gonna win. He's gonna make winning plays.
He's a game manager
against the Titans.
Yeah, he's a game manager. Like that. Like if we understand that,
Tua
like
win 2 games he needed to, and that was that Arizona in that second game versus the Patriots. Outside of that, the defense led the way in every win he's ever had. The defense led the way. Our defense.
That's every team that's won the Super Bowl for the last how many years, though? The defense leads the way.
That's not true.
Name 1 Super Bowl game. The only one I can say is the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the only one. But other than that, Tampa Bay. If Tampa Bay didn't have that defense, like they wouldn't have won that game. The Rams, if they didn't have their defense, they wouldn't have won that game. Like the Patriots, if they haven't had those defenses that they had, they wouldn't have won those games.
If Tua was on the Chargers, their offense wouldn't be as potent as it is.
But like they didn't make the playoffs, just like us for the last 2 years.
They played different teams.
Why didn't
you must be an Alabama fan?
Wait, why didn't we make playoffs?
Because the times we needed for Tua to win games, he didn't.
Hold on. 7 different reasons why. 7 different reasons why.
I'm asking him.
It's 7 different reasons why we didn't make the playoffs, in my opinion.
Hey, Christopher, why we didn't make the playoffs?
Why we didn't make the playoffs?
Yeah, why didn't we?
Because we lost 1 game that we weren't supposed to, and now to the Tennessee Titans.
No,
why?
Both years.
We lost
both
4
years.
games.
Both years. Both years.
Both years. Yeah. What did you say? Sorry.
Both years. Why did we miss the playoffs both years?
Both years we had slow starts, which we shouldn't have had. Both years we had slow starts.
That's true. That's fair.
Why did we lose to Tennessee?
And the Bills.
No,
I don't even talk about the Bills.
We weren't going to be able to keep up with the Bills regardless. But why
did we
lose
to Jacksonville too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't bring that up.
That game almost threw my remote tab by TV.
Don't bring that up.
Nah, but that was Jacoby. If Tua would have played that game, I believe he probably would have won.
Tua did play that game.
He did.
No, we talking about Jacksonville.
Yeah, he did.
That game.
That's the game he came back, I think.
I thought that was during the stretch that he was hurt.
No, that's the game he came back.
Tua didn't come back until Baltimore, and he was out. He didn't come back to Baltimore.
That's when he came back after the rib injury, and then he came back with Baltimore after that finger injury. He got in practice.
Right. He actually got healthy, then he got hurt. But it was only like 1 or 2 games for the finger or something, right?
Yeah.
So Jacksonville was one of the games between that.
Yep.
Dang, I feel like I saw Jacoby in that game.
No, that was the
Like,
Raiders.
that's one of those games our defense let us down, though. We shouldn't, like, our defense
That's
shouldn't
what
have,
you
like,
said. Remember, TD, you said
Hold
Flores
on,
got
hold on.
outcoached?
yeah.
You said it yourself. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that
Well,
too. Yeah.
well, listen, I said that because nobody deserves to lose to the Jags. I said that because nobody deserves to lose to the Jags. All right.
I remember that you were hot that day. I was hot
We
too.
shouldn't have lost that game. Our defense is, I don't know what that was.
Who is our
Well,
punter
how
right
many
now?
points did they score? How many points did they
It wasn't
score?
even a point. It was under 30, but there was a play, whatchamacallit, ran, and you didn't even, nobody seen it coming. I think it was a pass play up the middle or a run play up the middle, nobody seen coming. And Trevor Lawrence completed it, and you just couldn't believe it. Like how he completed, how they got that off, how they even was able to go downfield like that.
I am running a
I think they
blank
kicked
on
the
the
field
Jags.
goal. They kicked the field goal to win the game.
I'm running a blank on the
Yeah.
Jags game. I can't remember a thing about that game.
It was in
You know what's
London,
crazy though?
right?
It must have been. I must have been so mad
That
because
was-
some games I get so mad I don't even talk about it that week.
That was
No,
Mike
you a
just-
big
I want to
man.
make sure I get rid of it.
that was Mike just
I
said.
don't
remember
that game.
That we thinking about the schedule situation, we giving ourselves wins against teams that we not assuming getting better than us.
Yeah.
Like teams
I
we
want
gotta
to know
play
what I want to
twice
know
a
what the
year.
final score. I want to know what the final score of that game was because I'm sorry.
It was
I'll take
Anything,
it for you.
anything after week 6, I don't want to hear nothing about the defense. I feel like they did their job.
It was 2023. It was 2023.
No, that's a good defensive effort.
Yeah,
23 points,
Tua threw a
and
pick.
you say they won off of a field goal. Our
Yeah.
offense, they moved the ball. I don't remember that game.
Games
And we
like that
probably
happen.
scored on defense.
Everyone blowing everyone out, though. Like, not everyone just like blowing team. Like, this is the NFL. Like, it's not gonna be easy. Like,
I mean,
nothing's gonna come easy in the
I get
NFL.
that, but
points
when you have hard fought games that come down to 23-22, I don't think neither team's defense should be blamed. It's you miss small opportunities here and there in that game. I mean, I want you to really,
We
and
definitely did.
this is a part of my point of it all, right? We lost the game, but if you look at it statistically, see, it's games like that Herbert puts up 30 though. That's all I'm saying.
Or
If you
400
average
yards.
30 a season, then you're gonna win more than you lose. And that doesn't mean you ain't gonna have a game where you don't score nothing and get blown out, as Herbert has. I always give rookies 3 terrible games their rookie season. I give you about
Rookie of the year.
10.
You
I
guys,
give you 3 terrible games. I give you 10 really average games like rookie, make your mistakes, but you played okay. And then the rest of those games, you got to show me that fire, man. You got to show me that you know how to rise on occasions.
so you guys are saying you'd rather have one of those seasons where you barely miss the playoffs, but your quarterback's been putting up 350 yards a game, and you still miss the playoffs. You'd rather have that season than like my quarterback's still growing, even though we're not making the playoffs. We're one game away. My quarterback's still able to grow.
Let me give you the answer to that. Yes, I would rather that, because if we do it the other way, I question my quarterback. Is he good enough? If he balls out and we still lose, now I know it's worth going all in and making the investment on him now.
Like everybody
Some
else
teams hold
going
back.
all in.
Some teams hold back their investments. Because remember, some of y'all may not know, salary cap. The salary cap is a 2-year revolving cycle. You don't have to use all your money in a year. You can carry money over. So they strategically, when you got a rookie quarterback, they go get things, but they don't get everything. They want to carry 15, 25 million over to the next year in your sophomore year. Just in case you ball out, they'll go all in with the huge cap space. And if you don't ball out, they'll do another year of carrying over a little bit of money because they know once they identify their quarterback, that's when you go all out. You don't go all out blindly because every year you'll be playing a puzzle piece of putting the team together without having a salary advantage. This year we carried over like $10 million from last year. They still didn't want to go spend all their money.
If Cleveland get Watson, they definitely go all out. So that's probably another guaranteed playoff spot that's not getting done.
But we'll see. At the end of the day, man, they need to get Tua everything he needs, and if they don't, that's some shrewd operating stuff by Greer because I think he done got the attention off of him. We closed the door on Watson because these coaches, the coach and the coaching staff, mulled over all the film, and they feel, he was very adamant to say, they feel they can build this team around Tua and win with him.
But if I'm
Greer
wrong,
was very adamant to make sure he was very specific about that, and I know what he's doing. And boy, Greer is so slick. I'm telling you, if y'all didn't see it, he done covered himself.
But if I'm Ross, I'm looking at what other teams are doing. I'm like, okay, Russell Wilson. Every team is upgrading their quarterback in there, and I'm like, and I look at Tua. I'm not nothing. I'm not a 2-9. I'm not against him. I just haven't seen it. Is my opinion. I've seen the flashes, but like you said, consistency is the key.
I haven't even seen flashes.
So are we going to talk about getting a tackle or what? Because we have to play Von Miller twice a year.
They're probably not even going to get a tackle.
Yeah, we started the show talking about that, and the reality is we just waiting on Greer.
Because even if we get one, they could just switch sides and go right at Jesse Davis if he's still on the field.
Jesse Davis ain't gonna be on the field, man. If he is, I'm telling y'all, if Jesse Davis start in week 1, I'm trolling everybody. I am gonna become the biggest freaking troll ever. If Jesse Davis is starting week 1, all I can do is laugh. Oh my gosh, we have literally fallen into the abyss.
Yeah, we need a second.
That would be the ultimate slap in our face. I am so over it if that man is on the field starting because basically the Miami Dolphins are telling you Jesse Davis wasn't a problem. It was the quarterback. That's what they would be saying if Jesse Davis is starting week 1.
I had a question for you, but I forgot.
The answer is no then.
And they're gonna regret not getting Watson.
But it's gonna be interesting to see how all this shape up though, because Watson's gonna land somewhere. Baker is probably gonna end up forcing himself out by threatening to not be good or whatever. You still got Jimmy G out there on the market. Is there any other quarterbacks? Kyler Murray, you better watch that situation still.
I said that too about Kyler. But they already told Baker Mayfield he requested the trade. They told him they're not accommodating him.
It don't matter. They always start out by saying they were not accommodating him. Didn't they say they wouldn't accommodate Watson?
True.
Y'all better not hope he go to the Texans.
Who?
Kyler Murray. They said that could be a possibility.
Oh, I thought you said Baker. I was going to be like, we'll be fine. But
Watson to Arizona. Watson to Arizona, and then once you pay Watson, Arizona, and Kyler Murray comes to the Texans, it's going to be wild. That's going to be a wild trade because they still probably going to have to give up picks for Watson.
And they the way they structuring all their contracts, they're going to have buku money next year. Especially when Watson drops off the books, it's going to be plenty money. They could build around Kyler.
Exactly. And they said he never lost in the state of Texas. So
whoever
that's going to be out the window.
whoever just became a member, I'm driving, I can't see, and I don't want to see like that. So thank you. Welcome to the family. Hopefully you enjoy TD Phins Talk. I ain't gonna always be making you happy with my takes, but we respect takes over here, whether you agree or not.
So the Dolphins didn't sign no one on defense.
Hey, y'all read the name of our new member for me so I can
Ken Rosa.
Ken Rosa?
Yeah.
All right, welcome, Ken. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, man. But I asked y'all earlier about the record. I feel like right now, the way this team is built, if we're lucky, we may overachieve at 10 wins. That's our, and be mad at me all you want. That's our ceiling right now. We get a tackle, that might make the difference to 11.
Man,
Our
I
floor,
thought 11
our
last
floor,
year, and we I thought
our
11 last
floor
year.
is our floor is 6 wins.
I think even less than that,
Because look at how this team is built. It's almost like we'd be one injury away from, oh, here we go.
I thought 11 last year.
I still think we are this year. Because if somebody gets hurt, and especially if we're not getting the best offensive line, if somebody gets hurt, then when they get hurt, who we gonna put in there? Austin Jackson again?
But people also need to understand. Look at how many games we won last year, right?
We're playing different teams, though. We're probably playing different teams.
Yeah. That's my whole point. People need to be honest at our competition last year, man. Think about it. We beat the Jets twice, a team that was one of the worst in the league, right?
Saints, Atlanta.
We beat the Patriots twice. We know that they were down bad, and they played us tough in that first game.
Now, that first game we were supposed to lose.
That's 4 wins right there for non-playoff teams. The Saints were going through just craziness without a quarterback. That's 5. Who else did we beat?
Carolina.
What did they do last year?
With Cam Newton and
Cam Newton threw like 4 picks.
What did they do last year?
No, they wasn't good.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Is that 6 wins right there I just named?
Yeah.
Who else did we beat?
The Jets.
We already talked about the Jets and the Patriots. That's 6 wins. We beat the Ravens, with the most injury-depleted team in the NFL, and they didn't win a single game after that.
I can't even think of
the whole secondary was gone. So
we beat the Texans,
and they didn't make the playoffs. So that's 7 right there. We got 2 more wins. Where is that?
Did we beat the Texans?
We played the Texans, right? Yeah, we beat the Texans. There go 8 for another trash team.
And they're going to get better after they trade Watson because they're going to have all the first-round picks.
Who's the last one? Who's the last one? There's one more. There's one more we ain't thinking about.
I can't think of it.
Let me see. We already said Panthers.
We already said the Panthers. There's one more team if we got 9 wins.
The Giants.
Oh, my Jesus.
So
my God.
Yeah, we beat them 29.
We played a favorable schedule.
And we going to sit here and
we should have made
my gosh, man. Listen, this team could really, with the competition we going to play this year, if we look up and we win 6, 7, 8 games, I'm telling y'all, man, it could be a reality. And don't forget, even just the learning curves of a new coach trying to teach a new system.
To Tua, who needs to go over it more to learn it more.
And don't get me wrong, I know people say, well, there's still NFL teams. You can't look at it that way. I'm sorry, I just do. Because
they were all in the bottom. They were all in the bottom half of the league.
Did I name any team with an elite quarterback outside of Lamar Jackson and he ain't have no secondary?
No.
Even though we destroyed him anyway. I didn't name a single. We didn't beat an elite quarterback outside of Lamar Jackson, and we all know what happened to them.
And Lamar Jackson needs time to with that 0 blitz, he doesn't have time to think if he wants to pass or run or really know stuff like that.
Because you hit him in the one place that he struggles at. Forcing him, they couldn't run the ball with the edges sealed and the middle sealed, putting 7 on the line. So he had to beat him with his arm. And we had a great secondary. We're the perfect team to beat Baltimore the way we design now.
Exactly.
But if their defense is good and they didn't face those injuries, it would have been a defensive battle. And I'm telling y'all, we would have lost by a field goal.
If they would have had X, they would have beat us.
We would have lost by a field goal had their defense been intact. They started out 7-1 with the top defense. They were the number 1 defense starting the season. Buffalo was behind them. And as
And
soon
they
as
didn't.
all their secondary got hurt, they
They didn't have
started
their running
losing
backs
every
either.
game. So now this year, you got to go up with the upper echelon of the league. You got to go against the upper echelon in the league. Now
The
let's talk about
Steelers.
all the games. Let's talk about all the games we lost. We lost 8 games, right?
We playing tougher competition this year.
Yeah, I mean, when you really think about it, look at all the games you lost. They didn't have trash quarterbacks.
Exactly. So when we were struggling to put up points, they was putting up points.
Unless it was Jacksonville, and he ain't trash. It's just a case of a young career, just like ours, young quarterback.
Yep. We lost to
So
Josh Allen, Derek Carr, Carson
So
Wentz,
this
Tom
year,
Brady.
this year, you still got to go against Josh Allen twice. This year, you got to go against Joe Burrow. You got to go against Herbert. You have to go against Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, God.
Who else do we have? There's some other teams that are definitely legit that we got to play this year.
We got to play the Browns, the Vikings.
The Vikings, Kirk Cousins.
San Francisco.
People be like, oh, that's a win. Okay.
We got to play the Ravens. We got to play the Ravens again.
Well, I got to see what the San Francisco does first. Yeah, Ravens going to be ready for their rematch. Oh, they really want us.
The Vikings. Oh, I already said that.
So if we got to play Washington with Wentz, who beat us last year?
No, we don't play Washington. We played the Steelers.
Oh, I thought we did.
We played the Steelers and the Bears.
Steelers, well, who Mitchell Trubisky, and they got them in protection too. We'll see what happened with that. The Bears, I ain't worried about. We got to play. Do we have to play Tampa?
That's if Justin Fields doesn't get better. That's if Justin Fields doesn't get better.
We played Tampa last year and we lost. We played what's his name in Vegas? What's his name? Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
And we lost. Matty Ice even beat us, man. That game messed me up, man. Everybody like, oh, the defense gave it up. Well, maybe we shouldn't have turned it over twice to even have to have given it up. But it go two ways, whatever. But this is all I'm saying. If we struggle against great teams, we already struggle against the sorry teams. Because we lost to many of them.
Yeah, the Jets put up 24 on us.
And people are like, yeah, I see what they're doing with the run game, more structure. We should win 12, 13 games this year. I can't believe the Dolphins fans. First of all, we overachieved 2 years in a row with Flores to begin with. And we were fortunate to have the schedule we had.
Yep.
So this year, man.
We had a lot of tough teams early on in the schedule. It really killed us.
I'm going to come right back. Somebody tried to call me, so I can't hear. I'm going to come right back.
All right, man. But listen, fellas, man, I'm about to get out of here. I think we've been live almost 3 hours now. This is a great conversation, man. I appreciate everybody who was on and everybody who came through. Thank y'all for tuning in to TD Phins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Listen, man, I might go live later too. I'm on the road. I'm on a road trip right now. Y'all helped me get through like 3 hours of it, and that was pretty cool because I had like a 16-hour drive. Left way early this morning, like 5 a.m. So getting through it, I probably only got like 4.5 more hours, 5 hours, and I'll be to my destination. And I may go live again later, maybe, but I might be getting settled in if we get some breaking news. I'm going to try to go live. No guarantees, just depending on us getting settled in, getting the kids settled in. But again, thank y'all for tuning in. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. Share the video, like, subscribe. Let your friends and family members know about us as well. Y'all stay blessed. Peace. I'm out.